It's the Observation Deck with Gordo, brought to us by A Number One Air and Tylock George Laser Eye Care.
Oh, Mo. Sorry, I coughed there for a moment. Expensive weekend in just a moment. But first, a couple P1s. We're talking about clearing out the parents' house, grandparents' house. One guy said he found this extensive bookshelf behind a bookshelf that had all the Kama Sutra from his grandparents.
No.
His grandparents love making books.
No.
He said it was explained to me by my parents that my grandfather was just very interested in history. And those were some historical books up there. And,
reference.
But they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff to each other. Another P1 said his sister passed away 5 years ago of a sudden heart attack with no warning, and I discovered later from her roommate and neighbor that when they heard the news, they had to have an emergency cleanup of my sister's possessions. She was a dominatrix.
No way.
They had to get rid of the whips and chains and outfits and boots, and so...
Wow.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Now, for the brother, I mean, he could handle it of being of the same generation, but imagine if the parents were still living, and you got to do the panic cleanup on that.
Or if she had children.
Yes. Get rid of mommy's whips and leather outfits.
Mommy was a what?
Just a dominatrix. It means she played dominoes a lot. Just don't worry about it. Speaking of cleaning out the place after someone passes away, I didn't remember exactly which day this was going to happen until the day before. So 2 days ago, I was reminded that yesterday would have been the day that they auction off Larry McMurtry's stuff. They had a huge estate auction yesterday at high noon on Memorial Day. So yesterday I woke up, got my coffee ready, started scrolling through the online catalog of McMurtry stuff. He's a Texas legend. If anyone's listened to the program for any length of time, you know that I'm a huge fan of his son, singer-songwriter James McMurtry, as are you guys. You like James as well. So I started going through and looking at stuff, and you look at some of the more affordable things, and okay, maybe I'll bid on that. I registered for the live auction, where I could bid online. It's a little defeating knowing that anything you do buy has a 25% surcharge.
Yes.
It is. Or it should be, hello. Because the auction house has to take their cut, and I guess you also have to pay taxes on that, so maybe there's another percentage that goes on top of that. I don't know. But it's your chance to own part of Larry McMurtry's stuff. And it's very strange that objects that were once owned by somebody that you admire, or somebody who was famous, or somebody who was creative in some way, we feel like they've touched the magic of the universe somehow if they were very creative. And the object itself gets imbued with that magic because it was owned by that person. So we're drawn to it. So I wanted to see what was in the auction. He had many typewriters, and I cannot tell you how many P1s have sent me links to the news stories about Larry McMurtry's stuff going for auction and how many typewriters there were. I think there were about 10 Hermes 3000s in there, which was the typewriter he was famously associated with. He would have to keep buying other ones as they would break down. Of course, they haven't made these things since the 70s, and he preferred the earlier ones, and so he had these in the auction, and I was like, maybe it'd be nice to get one of his typewriters, but I knew that they would probably go for a big price because Larry McMurtry meant so much to this state. And this state is so full of rich oil guys who loved Lonesome Dove.
That's who your competition is?
Yeah, your competition is people with deep pockets. And so the typewriters started selling. I put a few bids on a few of them early before the bidding opened.
And how many typewriters do you have in your possession now, would you say?
The official number is don't worry about it. The official number is why don't you just drink your coffee and pay attention to whatever you have going on.
Okay.
It's in the hundreds. It's in the hundreds.
Wowzers.
I'm about to have a huge Larry McMurtry estate sale that will not attract big oil money. But I bid on a few. They quickly got out of hand. I did have my eye on two particular ones. One of them was not a Hermes 3000. And it's a particular model that I like. And so I had my eye on that one. Even though he probably didn't use it. If at all, he didn't use it very much because he preferred the Hermes 3000s. The other one was a Smith Corona Silent from the early 50s that it said that James McMurtry used to compose lyrics for his album Where'd You Hide the Body.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right
It was
up your
in
alley.
horrible shape. Drawstring had come off. It looked like it had been stored uncovered in a barn somewhere because it was full of dirt, rat's nest. I mean, the thing looked horrible. But even that one, the bidding got out of control on. I think that one went for close to $2,000.
Wow.
Darn.
And I would have loved to have had something that James wrote that album on,
Yes.
which was one of my favorite albums of his. That and his first album, Too Long in the Wasteland, are my two favorites.
That we listened to in Bill Jones' car at Cowboys training camp.
That is an odd biographical note. That was like right after it came out, I think. We were listening to it.
You had to borrow Bill Jones' car to listen to
I had
it?
to borrow his car to listen to the record.
Because he had a CD player.
Think about it. We didn't have phones to get music on, so it was you bought a CD and you had to play it.
We went and sat in Bill's car, listened to that CD while watching Jimmy send somebody to the asthma field down in Austin.
Yeah, they were walking right in front of our car to go to the asthma field. It was impressive. So there were 300 items from his house. I do wonder, is there going to be another auction of items? So, like, everyone, like, they know how to stage this to where people think, oh, these are the only 300 items that will come up for auction from Larry's house. So they get maximum dollar for this auction. And then they release another set that people go, oh, man, I'm not going to miss out this time. I missed out that last auction, but this time. And then they'll bid up. Surely they stage it that way.
Was he still living in Archer City?
He was. He died in Archer City. I didn't know that he had actually died there. I'd read that in reports, but with McMurtry, it's hard to tell what's the actual case because he had places that he would live around the country. But yeah, he bought that home. He bought the wealthy house. It was actually built in the 1920s for a really rich oil guy, and it was his mansion in Archer City. I guess the only mansion in Archer City. And then it was turned into the Archer City Country Club clubhouse. They have a golf course out there, and that was the clubhouse.
Really?
Yeah, and Larry bought it, and that's where he lived with the widow of Ken Kesey, who was his friend, and but he married Ken's widow after Ken died.
I remember at Cowboys training camp in Wichita Falls, you drove me to Archer City and showed me that house.
Yeah.
And we went in the bookstore.
Yeah.
Are they auctioning the bookstore stuff
The bookstore, Larry sold that off. He sold a good portion of the bookstore. He had 4 huge warehouses in Archer City. Now, you have to imagine, Archer City is a town of about 1,600 people. And Larry bought up basically the town square, these huge warehouse buildings, and put in his bookstore. He had, at one point, like 1 million books or something like that. And he, several years ago, he had something called the last book sale, I think is what he called it. And he sold off, I would say, 3/4 of the books that he had. And as he mentioned, he said at one time, I thought that this was a great thing that I was leaving my son and grandson all these books. But then he saw the way the world went, and he said, we're going to live in a bookless world soon.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his great passion, was not writing, it was book collecting.
Didn't you see him at that store once?
Yeah, he helped me one time. We were doing training camp up there in Wichita Falls, and I drove out to Archer City, and it was around the time that Eudora Welty died. And I remember driving out there and him directing me. He was the only one in the building. I was in one of the warehouses, not where the cashier is. So one of the other buildings. And he was in there shelving books.
Did you tell him about Moron Dog? Because that was like the same year.
No, but I think I mentioned Eudora Welt. I said Eudora Welty died, and I was just wanting to buy a book, and he told me where to go to get it and everything. I was like, oh, my God. It was
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Surprised you didn't get your picture taken with him.
He would not have liked that. Those McMurtrys can be temperamental.
I know.
Yeah, as Craig found out when he tried to make small talk with James one time.
And he literally climbed over a wall to get away from me.
Yeah. And all that was left was the porch rocking chair that he had been sitting in. It was still rocking back and forth with the activity of him violently getting up and propelling himself over the hedge.
All
to
of
get
that
away
is
from
true.
Junior. So I bid on a few things, and I will say this. I did win a typewriter.
Just what you need.
And spent way too much money.
Is that your typewriter? It's a typewriter.
It's an typewriter.
Is the price tag the same as the amount of typewriters you have? We don't need to worry about it?
No, it's not the same as that.
Is it one of his?
What?
Was it one of his typewriters?
One of his typewriters,
okay.
Yes. Yes, indeed. One of his typewriters. So there you go. So all the people who've been sending me the link, wanting me to get one of his typewriters, I did get one of Larry's typewriters.
Are you happy with it, or do you have buyer's remorse?
I have both of those things that you just mentioned on the air. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I keep trying to justify it to myself of, well, it's you love typewriters, you love Larry, you love James. This money is going to James because James is the one selling off the estate. But it is interesting that I wonder if James is probably a lot like Larry would have been, which is unsentimental. And that's how James is able to just sell off all this stuff.
Yeah, I could see that.
He doesn't want it. It's something that he would have to keep up. And why would he want to do that? And other people want a piece of Larry, so why not let the world have it? And in exchange, you get money.
I didn't used to understand that. I'm starting to understand that.
What, getting rid of stuff?
Yeah. I've always been very sentimental, thinking I'd never get rid of something like that. But now I'm kind of in the mode of, you know what? I don't need it.
Boy, after my dad passed a few years ago, I went through that, and I still have a couple of big boxes of his stuff in my garage that I haven't gone through yet. And I think I've determined that the best way to handle that is pick the 5 items that mean the most to you and get rid of the rest.
Right.
Because you just can't keep up with all the other stuff.
It's too much.
I almost bought Larry's grand piano.
Oh, my gosh.
I actually bid
what was that going
on the
for?
grand piano. It was started at $2,500. Which you're thinking,
That's a really
okay,
good price for a
piano.
Steinway
1926 Steinway grand piano.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, $2,500. It's an investment in music. Investment in music.
Then you got to get that thing tuned. What does that cost?
Yeah, that's the thing. Those pianos can have a lot of upkeep, a lot of repair, and you got to haul it.
Good luck haul it.
But I was thinking, that'd be a fun story. Throw it out to the P1. Someone will help me go down there and haul Larry McMurtry's piano back to my place. So it'd be a good story. But the bidding got out of my price range, and it ended up selling for what is not really that expensive to me. I think it sold for $7,500.
Wow,
that's not bad at all.
I think that was what it went
Someone
for.
got a heck of a deal.
Yeah. So that was one I was contemplating, which is the most impractical thing at that auction to move.
Right.
But it had been a part of that house, and I think there were a lot of stories about that piano that the auctioneer alluded to that he couldn't tell because they were too saucy. So I don't know what happened there. But yeah, so I did bid on that and then quickly backed away from it. It was the old bid on it with your heart pounding and then thanking God when someone outbid you.
Yes.
Just thank you,
somebody
sweet
else
Jesus.
bid, somebody else bid, somebody else bid.
But Larry McMurtry and the stuff went, all of it, over estimate. There were only one or two items that went within or under the estimate of what they thought it would.
Wow.
So I'd be interested to see
that
later
piano
today.
was one of them that probably went under.
There was one that was like it was a bronze of I guess, recreation of his book plate, the little stamp that he put in all his books, which is kind of a U shape. It looked like a stirrup, is what it looked like. And I think they had an estimate on that of like maybe $300 to $1,000. That thing went for $30,000.
Wow.
I know.
Man, James raked it in this weekend.
Yeah, and there were a couple other things that would be like estimated $1,500, and I know one of them also went for $30,000.
James going to get a new white van and trailer, I think, out of this thing.
Yeah, James can afford a new Econo line.
A new used Econo line.
So there it is, Larry McMurtry's estate sale. It happened, and I was there.
And got part of it.
Way to go.
All right, Gordo, thanks. That's the Odex. Let's Muse in the news with Gordo, brought to us by D&M Auto Leasing and All Pro Foundation Repair.
Thank you, Craig. Well, it was interesting news that came down that Ken Paxton has the Texas House was delivered articles of impeachment against Ken Paxton. The Texas House actually delivered it to the Senate, and then they have to do the trial and whether or not they will remove him. And Republicans joined this effort.
That's the key here. I think you know it's bad when your own party is now leading the effort to get rid of you.
It's always been kind of wild to me that he's been charged with these things for a long time, and he's reelected.
I
and we're just
know.
all kind of like, yeah, don't pay attention to that. It's just kind of a...
It is very strange. I don't know what's going on with this. Can't he just do the Jedi thing?
The witch hunt?
Doesn't he say hoax, and then everyone falls into the stupor? And
I think he kind of has been.
Yeah, I think he's tried that.
well, okay.
It's worked up until now,
Well, it's worked with the voters, and that's what's important, right?
obviously.
I mean, I don't know what kind of infighting is going on with the Republicans where they're going after him, but
He doesn't seem to be above board, does he?
every time I see him, he looks like he's got something going on.
Yes.
It's just the eyeball test for me. But
Remember that story where they come to serve him papers and he got in his car and
Flew out the back.
Flew out the back door.
yes,
He's just so shady,
allegedly.
in my opinion.
Yes, indeed. House Speaker Dade Phelan and a dozen representatives, 7 Republicans and 5 Democrats, they are going to make the case that Paxton abused his power and is unfit to serve. And remember, Dade was the one who we played that audio of him up there talking. Sounded like he had a few.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been sleep
What's
deprived.
happening in the Texas legislature?
Could have been sleep deprived.
Yeah, I guess so. The 20 articles of impeachment accuse Paxton of accepting bribes, including a kitchen remodel, in exchange for using his power to help a campaign donor entangled in an FBI investigation. They also accuse Paxton of obstructing justice by delaying his trial on securities fraud charges that he's faced for nearly 8 years.
Yeah, instead of like impeachment or an indictment, couldn't they just say, you're just kind of a lot, and we're going to go in a different direction? There seems to be a lot going on with
I
you.
know. I'm tired of the kind of a lot people. When it's just kind of a lot of stuff around them, it's like, let's get some new politicians in there. Paxton denies any wrongdoing, and he said, hoax, fake, stare at my upside-down Bible, witch hunt.
Hoax, fake, witch hunt.
Upside down Bible.
Upside down Bible.
Down Bible. It's a Bible. And it worked. He was reelected. So yeah, who do we go with here? Is it the will of the people? They elected him. Or the people's representatives that the people also elected, who are then persecuting and witch hunting Ken Paxton?
I have no idea, John.
For the kitchen remodel that he had on his laptop that had connections to Ukraine.
Did he at least get granite
With Eugene Carroll.
countertops?
I have no idea.
Stainless steel appliances.
Yeah, maybe so.
Hope he at least
Hope
got
he
that.
took those cabinets to the top, too.
Right.
All right. Dallas has leaped 10 spots in the coveted Park Score Best Cities list. The nonprofit trust. What's a trust again? We are so clueless in the ways of business and legal instruments of business.
I don't know. Just keep going.
It's a legal thing that protects your
See what I mean? Just keep going.
properties
What?
from
See?
Laptops.
I told
from
you, just keep going.
laptops after
Yeah.
you die.
Just keep
I'm
going.
not sure that's correct.
The nonprofit trust for public lands.
Keep going.
Trust for public lands.
Don't question it. Just keep
They have
going.
a Park Score ranking, and they use data
Okay.
to come up with this. And Dallas has jumped 10 spots from number 53 to 43 in a national index of local park systems for the 100 largest cities.
Okay.
And
Isn't that great, though?
Dallas is now knocking at the door of Austin, because Austin is at number 41 and is always ranked really high. But Dallas,
Wow.
the mayor's been in here talking about the investment they're making in parks and public areas.
Austin seems a lot parkier than Dallas.
It does. I think
I can't
because
believe
of,
they're that close.
I think because of the whole river thing.
Yeah.
Plano, well, we have the Trinity.
I know, and we're not
That's
using
a
it.
real river, though, that they have there.
If we used the Trinity and built more parks around it,
Man.
I think we'd vault into the top 20.
How about if we rerouted the Trinity and sent it right through downtown?
That was Dwayne Caraway's idea. That wasn't a great idea. That's how he wanted to make Main
He
Street.
got sent to prison for that idea.
He wanted to make Main Street a river walk, and it just
Not
wasn't.
a bad idea.
It wasn't a
just
great
wasn't
idea.
very feasible.
I like the
He
way
was spitballing, okay?
Right.
Allow him some safe space for creativity here.
he thinks outside the box, and that's great. I just don't know that would have worked.
He was thinking outside the box when he took that school bus money, too. And
Yeah.
I was just putting that was inside the box thinking.
Oh.
He was,
that was put the
the
bribe
money-
money inside
yeah,
the box,
in the box,
and then leave. And then
Hey, he did his time for that.
he did.
that's what I'm saying.
Indeed. Plano ranks the highest among Texas cities, above Austin.
Wow.
Austin's at 41. Plano is at 16.
I wouldn't have guessed
And
that.
Plano has been in the top 20 since 2015.
All right.
Take that for data.
But Dallas outperformed most all of the biggest Texas cities. San Antonio ranked 57th, El Paso 67, Houston 71, and Fort Worth 88. Arlington's at 74, Garland at 87, Irving 99, 99. But how much do we spend per person here in Dallas on our park system? $124 per person.
Okay.
The National Park Score average, $108. So we're spending money.
Okay.
Make it a nice place. Gasoline prices, have you noticed how much cheaper they are this year versus last Memorial Day?
Mm-hmm.
So last year, in May of 2022, we were paying $4.60 a gallon. And prices reached $5 a gallon by the second week of June. And this is a national average. But this week, $3.50 a gallon. National average.
Okay.
Oh, national average. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a
About
little bit higher
309
than,
around here. Now.
yeah, a little bit higher than Texas,
Yeah.
the national average. Speaking of Texas, do you know who is about to be our newest inmate here in Texas?
Somebody famous?
Yeah. Matter of fact, we talked about a documentary that was made about this person and this person's crimes.
Warren Jeffs?
Ken Paxton.
Why is Warren Jeffs always on your mind?
I've
He's
mentioned him
always mentioning
twice.
Warren Jeffs.
I've mentioned
There's
him
something
two
about
times.
his lifestyle that's very fascinating to you.
Yeah, Ken Paxton's a good guess.
No, he's not going to become an inmate today.
Theranos lady.
That is correct.
Oh,
Elizabeth
she's
Holmes,
coming here.
Elizabeth Holmes, the Theranos lady, as DJ called her.
Yeah.
I prefer saying Theranos woman.
Who
Person.
cares?
You don't know how she identifies.
Damn it.
Yes.
You out-high-horsed me. That's all culture is right now, is the high horse Olympics.
Boy, no kidding.
Anyway, nearly 2 years after her trial started, she is supposed to report to prison today to start serving her 11-year sentence for fraud and conspiracy tied to the downfall of the Theranos company. That was the company that was supposed to do blood tests with these magic machines that could do the lab work that normally takes people, and you have to send it off to a lab and everything. Yeah, the blood work comes back like within an hour, like straight from the machine.
Yeah.
I think they had to deal with Walgreens, and there were lots of famous investors in Theranos, and she was a huge acolyte of, or at least a fan of Steve Jobs. So she would dress like Steve Jobs, and she put on that fake voice because she read somewhere that people don't take women seriously unless they have deep voices. And so she would go out there and talk like Romeo and Michelle's wedding or whatever that Post-it notes. Had a weird, deep voice. She looked crazy.
Why is she coming here?
I don't know, but the federal jail is, what city is it in? Bryan, Texas.
Federal women's prison?
Yeah, minimum security women's prison camp. Oh, it's a camp, so they have like horse riding.
Activities.
And, horseshoes and, machete pillow fights and all that. Did you notice that when she was the head of Theranos, she dressed like like a stagehand, in all black and everything, and had that pulled back hair, and then when she went on trial, all of a sudden she femmed up and had the curly flowing locks and with her baby, and just she played the woman card really hard during the trial. Didn't work though. She got 11 years. So she's supposed to report for prison today.
Off.
But as someone in this story said, which was very disturbing.
By the way, that's always a red flag if you're supposed to report to prison today.
Right.
Big day today.
Something went wrong.
It says here, where is that woman's quote? It said, a lot of people who are scheduled to report to white-collar prisons end up not reporting for a variety of reasons. They either go on the run or end up taking their own lives. I don't know why that had to be mentioned in the story, but
okay.
Anyway, that's a little Christmas detail to the story they wanted to put in there for you. She's been ordered to pay $452 million in restitution to the investors of Theranos.
Wow.
They blew through the money. That's what we need to do. We need to start a scam.
Scam?
Yes.
No, we don't.
That's how you make true money.
Yeah.
Ed Ames has passed away at the age of 95. Now, he was famous kind of before all of our time, but we remember him a little bit, right? He was on that Daniel Boone TV show. He played Mingo.
Daniel Boone was a man. Yes, a big man.
Remember Fess Parker played Daniel Boone?
Yep.
And unstably, he also played Davy Crockett.
And I always confused Fess Parker with Wes Parker, the Dodgers first baseman.
Yeah, but a Dodgers first baseman never played in a coonskin cap.
Throw it first, we'll turn two. Throw it right here in me mitt.
They're playing for the Dodgers in a coonskin.
With the little Dodger logo on the front.
Buckskin hanging off of him.
Two-way, let's go. Two-way.
Signaling everybody.
Anyway, to the family in the front row.
Defensively, but he's got a lot of power
Yes.
at the plate.
The thing I remember most about Ed Ames was every time that Johnny Carson had an anniversary show or something, they would replay the old footage of Ed Ames being on the Johnny Carson show and them throwing tomahawks.
Yes.
And remember, Ed threw one and it hit the little drawing of the man right in the crotch.
The Johnny stare into the camera for 15 seconds.
Johnny just set up a stool underneath that Holstein and just started milking the moment.
And it was
just
hilarious.
Milking the moment.
Just
John Cleese, who has been a guest on this program, one of the stars of Monty Python, and one of the greats that we all were very impressed with the interview. I mean, we thought that Monty Python was the greatest thing. They were the Beatles of comedy to me.
Yep.
John Cleese insists that he never said that he would remove a politically incorrect scene from the stage adaptation of Life of Brian. I guess they're about to stage this, put it on somewhere, which Life of Brian, I think, is the greatest comedy of all time. That's my number one.
I would agree.
Okay.
And it was misreported, he says, that they were planning to cut a scene from that due to modern sensibilities. Can you guess which scene is being talked about?
I don't know. You guys have seen the movie 100 times. I've only seen it like once or twice.
George.
I know. I need to go back and rewatch it.
Wow. I mean, there are so many to choose from. The crucifixion scene where they start singing?
No.
The scene where Brian's mother performs a great act of admiration?
No.
I don't know.
The scene where Eric Idle is playing a male character and says that he wants to be named Loretta.
Oh.
And that he wants to have a child, and that whole funny discussion that they have.
You don't have a womb.
You haven't got a womb. Where's the fetus going to gestate? And then they say, well, and Eric Idle says, I want to be a woman. It's my right as a man. I
don't think that's funny.
I want to have babies. It's every man's right to have babies if he wants them.
So we're taking that out, but all the things.
And after Cleese protests, he says, "Don't you oppress me." Yeah.
Okay.
It's the name Loretta.
Loretta's a funny name.
That's what he wanted to be called.
I want to be called Loretta.
Not funny.
Is an example of what's not funny.
I'm trying to tell you all to quit laughing. That's not funny.
You're right.
It's not funny. Anyway, birthdays today. Ted McGinley is 65.
Boy, he is so great in the new Apple TV show that I can't remember
Chris?
the name
Hot
of.
Dog Slam?
No.
Hot Dog Slam.
With Harrison Ford and Jason Segel.
Shrinking.
No.
He's so great in that.
Who does he play in that?
He's the neighbor's husband.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
He's a scene stealer in that show.
Yeah. Country singer Winona Judd is 59 and will never be on this program again after George wronged her.
I didn't wrong her.
You did something weird.
Said hi to her.
No, you made a comment about her weight to her.
No, that was you that did that.
I did not do that.
I thought one of you reported that she smelled.
George said
I didn't.
She smelled like cattle.
Said she was really nice. And every year he brings it up. Oh, George had a run-in with her. No, he didn't.
Run-in.
Fabrication.
Hadel Hazim is 52. I'm sorry. Adina Menzel. I don't know why I said it so weird. CeeLo Green, 48. Let's see. No sports birthdays today?
Not a one.
Not a one.
I don't believe that.
That's what it says here. It says sports birthdays. There are no sports birthdays.
Not a single athlete was born on
this day.
Up or something.
It's the rarest date on the sports calendar, which no one had a birthday.
All right, fair enough. That's Muse. But first, with the hockey season coming to an end around here, we thought we would one more time eavesdrop on the Slapshot Brothers. This is Toronto All Sports Radio. See if they're talking about Vegas beating up on the Stars last night. Let's tune them in.
All right. See you, boys.
Okay.
Okay, thanks
Take
there,
off
Razor.
there, Razor.
There he is.
There's
That's
Daryl Razor.
Daryl Razor Ray joining us there for that whole almost an hour there. That was pretty good there.
We kept him on a long time.
Yeah, that was some riveting stuff there.
I like him.
More mind vitamins there for from Razor. You're listening to the Slapshot Brothers here on the CBC, Canada's most dangerous talk show. That's
Boy,
what
his
we're known
team,
as.
those Stars sure took it on the chin last night, didn't they?
They did.
Oh.
You know that we're the only radio show that has the guts to say when someone is being a hoser, eh?
That's right.
everyone in this organization thinks we are totally crazy.
Uh-oh. Vegas scored again.
It's happened again there to them Dallas Stars. They got scored against. So,
I hear a lot
I'm
of
Dan
talk.
Labatt's. That's Tim Maple over there.
Yeah.
Canada's Shock Jocks.
right.
That's what the Toronto Star calls us. So,
Look out.
hey, and we
Look
gotta
out.
we gotta make mention of this here. We're about to start our 2-week suspension.
Yeah.
You know, for those who didn't tune in to the show yesterday, you know, Tim got a little out of hand and used some language on the air that is forbidden under the Canadian Broadcast Decency Standards. So he called someone a big. Well, I can't say the full word.
The full word.
But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but anyway,
I don't even know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again after today.
I know that's
This
so
could be
unfortunate
about it.
there. And there's another shot on goal by Castellanos. So.
You know that Jake Ottinger. You know what I think the Stars should do? They ought to get another goalie. You not with me?
No, I like it. I like it. I'm laughing
How'd
at
that
it.
not set off the horn?
I don't know.
There it goes.
There we go. Is that a new shirt there, Tim? You're showing off that Molson
No.
muscle there.
Oh, well, I've had about 9 beers a night.
You know, I had the craziest thing happen to
During the
me here
playoffs.
today. Maybe the most insane thing that's ever happened in my life.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went to Timmy's this morning for a double-double and a Timbit, and I was a couple loonies short. So the girl there behind the counter said, "Don't worry about it, So I got it at a discount.
Oh, right on.
So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Canadians helping other
There you go,
Canadians.
discount, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So those hosers down from Dallas, they learned the hard way that they ain't that great.
That Dallas, that's a weird place, I tuned into the radio station of the
for
Stars
sure.
earlier. They were talking about some guy playing first base for the L.A. Dodgers in a coonskin cap. What's that all about? Well, you looking at me like that?
Say L.A. Dodgers again.
You say L.A. Dodgers again.
Oh, right on, Right on. Hey, you know, the Stars lost. It was like 6-0.
6-0.
6-0, as they say. Oh, right on. Yeah, they were them Golden Knights.
Chicken kicked, donkey punched,
scoring a missile clapper there on that.
Oh yeah, they just lit him up. Yeah. Are you telling me we got to put up with Vegas and Florida in the Stanley Cup final? Quit leaning back in your chair when I say something.
No, I mean,
I'm going to come over there and clobber you.
No, don't start with the threats there. I know we're under a lot of pressure here with the suspension coming down.
I'm about to get suspended.
We're saying some crazy stuff. We better go to the phones before we rip each other's throats out over here,
Okay.
Let's go to Doug in South Toronto. You're on with the Slapshot Brothers.
Hey, how are you two hosers doing?
Hey, how you doing, Doug? How you doing, Doug? You doing pretty good, Doug? How things going down there, Doug?
Yeah, Doug.
By the way, want to wish each of you a happy belated St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Okay, now you're a big jerk.
Yeah. Why don't you take that phone and shove it somewhere?
Whatever
there,
else
Doug.
you got.
The Stars weren't at their best,
No.
You know, Rocket Richard said winning hockey is about putting it in and keeping it out.
Keeping it out. That's right.
And Dallas couldn't do that. But what do you expect from a Texas team? Maybe they could slide Dak Prescott between the pipes,
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now you're talking.
I don't know about that.
One more thing for you two hosers.
Yeah.
Does the Dallas organization need to shore up their blue line or what?
Oh, that
burn.
is a total burn.
Burn.
Yeah, call hospital. Call hospital. Tell them we got a burn on our hands here. Oh, coming up next hour, Justin Montemayor comes on to tell us about making Guy Lafleur-themed drapes for his Maple Leaf shrine room,
With Lucky Charms.
Magically delicious.
All right. The Slapshot Brothers one last time before they serve their suspension.
We just got word that the
It's a
Slapshot
lifetime
Brothers were in
suspension?
a horrible car accident. They ran into a Mountie down there. And the horse
lifetime
survived,
suspension,
but
I
they
guess, coming up for the Slapshot Brothers. All right, it's 8:48 on the ticket.
Gordo's Corner, brought to us by Tylock George Laser Eye Care and A1 Locksmith Security and Safes.
Thanks, Craig. P1 Nick's hitting 2 million miles flown
Saw that.
on American Airlines this morning.
Wow,
On
that's
his
a
flight.
lot.
2 million miles. That's the same as flying to L.A. and back every day for 833 days.
Wow.
It's a lot of miles. How many miles do you think you've flown? Do you think you've flown 300,000 miles? That's a lot of miles.
Yeah, I was going to guess around 100 to 200,000.
Yeah.
250,000. I'm sorry, 250,000.
Right. What's the matter?
No, nothing. I just got to call here and make sure
You're late on a payment?
No. Just a family member may be in trouble. But anyway, go ahead,
Okay.
George.
Sorry.
You're having fun with everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yesterday, Memorial Day, and we were off work. But I understand that they had Greg Rosengarten on at 8:40 yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, always love that.
Who was in yesterday morning?
Me.
DJ.
And
That's it?
Ryan Median and Matt Birmingham.
Boy, how did they get lesser billing than you there in that
They were featured.
It was the
recounting?
DJ
They were
show.
featured, yes.
It was DJ show.
But you were the only one that filled in for us. And then they kind of helped out.
I supported the troops the most. So
Okay.
Who did the Greg Rosengarten character?
Greg Rosengarten did it.
He's an actual
He's a
real
real person.
fake
Yeah, it's
twin.
a real person.
Okay.
Have you heard that yet, Craig?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Why did he not hear it? Was
he must have been
out?
out when we replayed it.
Okay. It's really, really funny.
Okay. I need to hear
It's
this.
great. It's great. Yeah. Maybe we'll take a listen to that sometime. Maybe tomorrow in the corner.
Okay.
We'll take a listen to it. A lot of people yesterday doing a little day drinking.
Huh?
Uh-oh. Did you do some day drinking, George?
No, not yesterday.
Not yesterday. Well, it's Memorial Day, and a lot of people do honor those who have passed in wars by drinking all day long. And why does day drinking seem different than nighttime drinking?
Just seems more desperate.
You go longer, I think.
Yeah. And the sun is out, so a lot of times
Yeah.
you're dehydrating even more than you normally
that
would be.
contributes to,
So you're hot, and you don't, when you drink at night, a lot of times it's after you've already had dinner.
Yeah.
So you have something in your belly.
Right. The sun,
Yeah.
I think, is the big factor of why all of a sudden Uncle Dan's walking in circles.
Right. Uncle Dan walked in circles before he fell into the pool. He hadn't had anything to eat, and he's had 18 beers. Yeah, the hotness of it, the fact that it's open-ended, that the day goes on so long,
Yeah.
so if you start drinking at 11,
Yeah. By
you
dinner
know,
time, you're.
yeah, by 6 p.m., you're completely wasted.
Yeah.
And you got slop voice, slur mouth, you got spit talk, and
Close talking people.
you're close talking and doing repeat story, and there's nothing worse than the close talking.
Let me tell you something.
Hey, George, listen to me.
I've got friends and I got
You're awesome. Okay? You're awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got
It's
you.
like you. Dude, seriously. You are like so awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's got half-lit eyes and just.
And seriously, you know what? I mean,
I want to kiss you.
you know what? You talk so much BS. You talk so much BS.
Also, they
and
turn on you.
No, shut up. Shut up.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'm so tired when the stars were down.
I thought I was awesome.
You did not. No, listen to me. Just listen to me, okay?
You turned on me in 5 seconds.
Just hold on. Hold on. Hold
Talked
on.
to so many of those guys.
when the stars look, forget it. Just
Okay,
I'm
we'll
sorry.
forget. It's just
I'm sorry.
it's
I didn't
Memorial
mean
Day.
to. I didn't mean to say that.
No, it's
I
emotional.
didn't mean to say it.
Uncle Dan.
I just seriously, man. Just
What?
You forgive me?
Yeah, of course, we're good.
Do you forgive me?
Everything's good.
You're so full of BS. You are so full of
he's trying
That
BS.
to get-
crazy back and forth that drunk guy does.
Oh, it's maddening. You're taking spit in the face the whole time he's talking. Okay.
full of it.
You're so full of it. Okay, fine. Fine. You don't want to even talk to me. You don't even want to talk to me.
No,
Got
that's
too many
not true.
syllables in there, Uncle Dan. Too many syllables.
You don't see your aunt around here, do you?
Oh, God, she's the worst. And I don't mean to say anything bad about your aunt.
She's just inside. She can probably hear you. Keep
But,
it down.
oh, screw her.
Hey! I think the kitchen window's
Although
open.
She hasn't let me screw her in so long now.
whoa.
that-
Uncle Dan.
What?
All right.
Enough
Uncle Dan's
Dan.
got to leave the party now. He's making us too crazy here. Okay. How far would you go to retrieve your cell phone? Have you ever dropped a phone in, I don't know, the pool? You ever divvened
Yes.
into the pool with the
Yes.
phone in your pocket?
Yep.
Or
Nope.
Lake and pool.
really?
Yeah.
Or like Corby dropped it in a porta potty.
Take him to the pool.
Whoa. You take your what?
Now, that one, I would draw the line. I would just say that's it.
Did Corby fish it out of there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
With his mouth.
Okay.
Was it porta
He's
potty or
adding-
just
This is
just like a
fifth
restaurant?
grader adding details on the
bathroom?
playground?
Going to Corgi, actually.
What?
Was it a restaurant bathroom or was it a porta potty?
I thought it was a porta potty, but I'm not sure.
I think we've exaggerated it into porta potty. I think it was originally
I
a
may retrieve
a
out of
restaurant.
the public restroom.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
I don't think there was hell in there.
No.
There may have been yellow hell, but there wasn't anything worse.
All right, we have new terms this morning as of 9:26. Yellow hell, brown hell.
Well, in India, this guy his name is Rahish Vijwas. I'm probably not saying it correctly, but 32-year-old guy. He was picnicking with friends in central India. This happened a couple weeks ago. And he dropped his new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra
It's a quality phone.
into the reservoir. And it's $1,200, that phone, it says here. He is a government food inspector. So he works for the government. And he decided that he had to have that phone back. So he called in a favor, or maybe he used his government employee status to justify the fact that he drained the reservoir in order to try to get his phone back. Now, India is going through one of the most severe droughts ever. They have a water crisis over there.
Where the water
And
goes.
he drained like 4 feet, I think, of water
Ridiculous.
out of this reservoir to retrieve his phone. It was enough to irrigate 1,500 acres of farmland.
Whoa.
And he claims that he received oral permission from someone at the Water Resources Department to drain it. He rented a diesel pump to pump all this water out of there and just, I don't know, put it down a storm drain. I don't know what he did with it.
Is that tough to get?
Uh-oh, you're thinking about draining something?
No. I just wondered if
What?
oral permission was difficult to get.
He's hung up on the word oral.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. I'm doing a radio show. What are you doing?
No, you have a pornographic mind. That's the problem. And,
That's
and you know
hilarious.
what? I've not
Coming from
mentioned it
you,
for a
that
while
is hilarious.
because it, you know,
That's the funniest
I've
thing
tried to
ever.
ride it out for a while, but
so to speak.
anyway. Yeah, if Jerry had just received oral permission, he wouldn't have had the extra kid.
Wow.
What?
Talk about hung up on a story.
I'm not hung up on that story. I don't think I've ever mentioned that story.
Gordon.
But he did retrieve his phone, and of course, it was unusable. After he drained the reservoir, found his phone, and it didn't work anymore. Which, couldn't we have all told him that?
Yeah, it's not going to work unless he has the... Even if you have the waterproof casing, does that totally work if
it's in an Indian reservoir?
For a day?
I don't know. I think I have...
I've got one of those mama bears.
The waterproof thing?
Yeah, just because of
lake stuff?
2 phones.
Did you try to rehab your phones using like the
rice and
what's
all
the
that.
thing? Yeah, Rice University came up with some
Soak
trick.
it or not soak it, but put it in dry rice.
Rice, rest, ice, compression, elevation.
That's what you're supposed to do to your phone?
Yes.
Even had a guy very carefully, because the last time I did, I jumped in a pool at a hotel. And the guy said, I can get it for you. I'll fix it for you, sir. And he got a plastic baggie, put rice in there, and very carefully got all the air out of it.
Uh-huh. Didn't work?
No.
Now, I had a laptop. Remember at training camp when I knocked my coffee over and spilled it all over my laptop and it wouldn't work?
Yeah.
So I could not get that thing working, and I tried the dry out techniques and all of that, and nothing. It was dead. It had gone to be with laptop Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 3 years later, I found that laptop, plugged it in, turned it on, booted up.
Really?
Yeah.
It just needed 3 years to dry out.
Yeah. I just wanted to take
Totally
a break for a while. Totally dried out. Totally dried out. This guy drained a reservoir. And Corby, we need to get the full story from him because according to some sources I'm seeing, they're claiming that Corby lifted logs out in order to...
He didn't go logging.
He had to do some logging.
He didn't have to log on.
in order to get his phone back.
I don't think so.
That can't be true. Corby's the type of guy, though, that I would imagine loses phones all the time, drops them all the time. Corby seems like a guy who just doesn't keep up with his stuff. As am I.
Magical upgrade because he has a friend.
Yeah, he has a friend who works for Phone. So he just calls friend at Phone Inc.
Yeah.
Here, man. Here, Corby. Man, you were so fun in college. Here's 15 phone.
Thanks, buddy.
You bet.
Typical Corby. All right, so there's the story. What would you do to get your phone back? Drain a reservoir is the answer.
That's amazing. All right, Gordo, thanks. That's the corner.
YouTube.com/@SportsGreek.
Hang Zone coming at you.
Previously, in the Hang Zone.
She spoke to media this weekend after the candle exploded into flames in her home.
It doesn't really make any sense at all.
Yeah, how did it explode?
Remember the electric... What were those little skateboard things called? Those were exploding a couple years ago?
Oh, yeah. What were those called? The little hoverboard deals where you lean forward?
Are they hoverboard, are they called?
I think they just might have just been hoverboards, yeah.
But those were exploding. But they had, a battery. What do these things have? They don't have hair, do they?
Dan.
I was trying to think what could catch on fire. Why? Why would you pull the music?
The Dragon Den.
No, there's no hair on the candle. We should probably just move on.
Smoking California weed with California whores. Excuse me. True. I left that one out. Smoking California weed with California hoes. True. My weed's so loud, everybody listen. I'm so high like an addict. Good weed, bad bitch. All right, you know what? I bet if somebody taught about your girls like this, you'd jerk a knot in their neck.
Yeah, but what we talking about, recreational use of marijuana? What we talking about,
What
Nancy?
I'm
You
saying
everywhere.
is, your lyrics.
The traffic is brought to you by the new CBS show Taint on Taint. This fall, Ted Danson plays Dr. Aeneas Taint, a part-time reporter, part-time proctologist, searching for love in a post-apocalyptic Detroit. It's Taint on Taint Fridays on CBS with the North Texas Tollway Authority's ticket. Stick it up your tailpipe traffic. I'm Doyle King.
So, this is the team. Whoa. I was just going to say it. This guy f***s. Am I right? Because I'm looking at the rest of you guys, and this is the guy in the house doing all the f***ing. Am I right? You know I'm right. This guy f***s.
Thank you.
Is your phone going to make it?
It should. I'm on about 12% right now.
12, okay.
It used a lot of battery pushing out that photo to you.
Are you He's a 16-year-old girl. He's down to 12% at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I forgot my external battery, and it's been a busy morning.
He is a 16-year-old girl because he carries around an external battery.
I don't know anyone that
But
does
I
that.
forgot it. Hey, it came in handy during the snowstorm. That's all I know.
You anticipating a snowstorm at all times?
I
You
mean,
never
have
know.
you seen how unstable this power grid is?
Oh, that's true. ERCOT.
All right. We're listening to the comedy stylings of Ryan Medellin. So he...
Hangs on coming at you. Hangs on coming at you. Hangs on coming at you.
All right, let me know when, guys.
Yeah, now.
Whoa.
Hi, I'm Lauren Cleary from The Moment of Truth, the most hated woman in America back in 2008. And I never listened to you guys on the radio.
What's a kilogram?
It's just afternoon on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310 The Ticket. So pop that lunch on your car tray, sit back, and hang in the hang zone.
If it kind of doesn't go anywhere, we could just kind of eat the clock out and we go to halftime.
I don't know that anybody ever describes that way.
What do you mean? Eat up the clock, maybe.
Featuring
the devil himself, Matt Birmingham.
The Patriots equipment manager.
That's what my church says.
Blake Jones. Who Blake Jones?
Bigger, badder, daddier.
And now, your hang zone hosts. From noon to 3, it's Jake Kemp and Dan McDowell.
Is that CeeLo Green?
All right. And welcome to It's Already Tuesday here on the Hang Zone. It's Dan and Jake with you, show 793. Jake has brought a bunch of momentum to the show from Memorial Day weekend. So we're fired up about that.
Yeah.
You would... that's a rough yeah. I don't remember. Oh, is that the burning flags?
Yeah, that probably
that's a
occurred
Sunday
at
morning.
7:50 in the morning. We're just trying to get through it, and then Seabass, had a little bit of a media literacy issue. It happens to all of us.
But then he tried to defend it.
Not me.
All right, we're going to move on. All right? You guys don't get
But you
the
can see
text
how that
about
image
this every time we bring
Doesn't
it up.
happen
that
to
could
me.
make sense.
Doesn't happen to you, Mr. I can't believe Tom Brady is throwing those balls into a jugs machine.
I still haven't gonna seen get
proof
ball
that he
sack
did not do that.
Or what was it? Tom Brady hit the hole-in-one?
We literally talked to one of his teammates who, when we brought it up to him, was like, yeah, that was crazy. I can't believe anyone believed it.
I couldn't
Dan's
see
like,
an edit.
Yeah, me neither.
I could not see an edit. I do believe somebody could punt, 70 yards down the field and run down and catch it. I think those things can be done because I've seen the highest basketball shot in the world. Dude Perfect did it last week from the moon.
Did you guys like the Dude Perfect meme I sent you over the weekend?
Yes. So you would think we'd have lots of stuff to talk about. We haven't been here for 3 days and all that. But, Michael Block, how did he do? That would usually be our lead story on a Monday, but it's not Monday. It's already Tuesday. So since we're going to do a weekend check, but we're going to do an audio version. We're going to do it later in the show. Right now, we're kind of out of material already. So we send out the signal. hoping that we could be saved by the man who wants to promote his Twitter stream or Twitch or something.
I'm here to promote Twitter today.
Ah, okay.
Are you guys like me in that you get a little bit of joy when someone around you yesterday forgot that it was already Monday? You're like, oh, yeah, it's Tuesday tomorrow.
I forgot.
You forgot yesterday was Monday?
The 4-day week is so great.
I know, it's so perfect. We should have Memorial Day every week.
That's right. I care about the troops that much.
Yeah.
But I guess Jake kind of was going against that.
Well,
so
maybe
that's
one
all right.
for each conflict, engagement, or war.
Yeah, we need to separate out the wars. This catch-all once-a-year thing is
because
is
mainly
BS.
I think it's disrespectful to each individual group.
Yes.
To have to be, hey, I was in Desert Storm. That's probably the same as the big one.
I mean, it's the big one for those who were there.
And they deserve their own day.
I totally believe that. Totally believe it.
So Memorial Day is for all soldiers who have fallen in a war, right?
Right. So Trump is not for that. Because his
And
heroes...
the ones that survived.
His heroes didn't get caught.
Survived to get lots of women.
Trumps.
So we have...
But what about Confederate soldiers? They aren't...
Ooh.
I mean, they fought against this country.
That's a good question.
So they're not included.
Well, that's a weird tightrope that is being walked for many, many years, right?
By you?
I think by people
like when you go
below
every Memorial
a certain
Day
line, maybe people who were on a certain side.
Confederate Memorial Day is on January 19th.
Jan-teenth.
Now, when do the Germans
That's
have
unfortunate.
Nazi Veteran Day, or do they not?
I don't think
that's a great question.
Do.
No, they don't. That's
Are
the
you sure?
point. Yes.
I thought they also did January 19th.
Like, are there statues of
just off the top of your head,
Rommels or
Rommels?
Isn't that a
Aren't
guy's name?
those little figurines?
Yeah, what are those called?
Hummel?
Why can't I think of any Nazi leaders? I'm very slipping here.
No, that's okay. You're not very slipping.
I mean, there's one I can think of, but that's too obvious.
Which one?
The guy with the
Goebbels.
Charlie Chaplin.
Goebbels?
Oh, yeah. Goebbels.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to...
A big gerbil statue.
I wanted to, before we get to what Blake has, I wanted to...
With Richard Gere.
I wanted to level with Gordon a little bit here. There's nothing shameful about eating your fast food in your car in the parking lot of the fast food place. In fact,
yes, there is. It is
the
an ultimate act of late capitalism shame.
That is the ultimate act of I am in control.
No.
I am controlling what is happening to me right now.
It's a shameful private act.
No.
It's the same thing. Like every time after I eat fast food in the first available parking spot after the drive-thru, after I'm done gorging on all that, I have...
Feel like when you have to grab a towel.
So I thought
I have what I'd like to call post-glut clarity.
I might have heard this, Muse. You were talking last week about this,
That's
right?
outstanding.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Written in real time. Thank you.
So is your theory there that you had planned to drive and eat?
No, it's just that
you realize now I've got a taco and
no, it's just
kind of messy.
No, it's just you're hungry and you want that awesomeness in your mouth as soon as possible, and so you don't want to interact with any humans. That's why you're going through the drive-thru in the first place.
Yeah,
so you can be in your stupid auto cocoon,
your death box.
Yeah, your little death box there. And you kind of park a little bit crooked in that first spot because you can't wait to jam it and park quick enough to unwrap your heart cloggers.
And see, this is an affront to my lifestyle because
you're a big in-car
and I'm
guy.
going to bring you one next week. I use the car tray.
Yeah, I know you've been an advocate of that.
I should have been receiving points from Amazon for the number of orders I've seen placed at my behest. But yeah, I park and I put
Jake
the chair.
may receive some money
right,
from
if
this
you click
affiliate
this
link.
affiliate. Yeah, I'll sit right there. In fact, Not a huge fast food guy over the last several months, but I did it yesterday. That's how I celebrated and honored the fallen.
Hell yeah.
I went to Burger Place, and I ate at Burger Place parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone pulls up next to me and they want to do their same shameful act and they see that I have a plate, all my sauces spread out, open, got a rag that I keep in my car, and my meal is right there on a tray, and they look over like
I'm drive-through rag?
Yeah.
You don't have a...
Jeez.
See, I have a stack of napkins I put in the middle thing.
I don't want to fool with napkins. Those can fall apart, you know?
So you have a disgusting rag that you don't
I
wash.
wash it every so often.
Every so often.
Helps with kid stuff. If
that
the
feels
kid-
like the...
not that kid stuff.
It's just kid stuff.
The
Yeah,
handkerchief.
no.
It's just kid stuff.
I got a different rag for that.
Didn't you always think that was gross growing up?
Wait,
because
hold on.
I feel
still
like...
can't believe that line worked on that guy.
Oh,
The guy told him,
okay.
hey, do this for me. I need some relief. It's just kid stuff.
It's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
kid
okay.
stuff.
Yeah, the handkerchief was kind of disgusting, but it really came in handy.
Yeah.
You had one? My
Yeah.
dad had one.
I just
and
don't buy
it's
that
like-
my grandfather was routinely washing that handkerchief.
As allergies guy, yeah, I'll carry one.
Don't call it a handkerchief.
Is it
It's
that
handkerchief.
Is that
Chief?
hottie?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's spelled that way. I mean, but people always call it a handkerchief. Right?
Maybe
Now
your
it sounds
people
weird when I'm saying
in
it.
the low country.
Yeah, in the low country we didn't
Handkerchief.
we
Yeah.
didn't pronounce things properly. But my father used handkerchiefs his whole professional career. He always had one in his suit pocket.
Yeah, if I go out
When
and
he
do,
could just use his tie.
yeah, possibly.
what's the point of a tie?
Well, I think a lot of times what I remember is
Hang yourself.
seeing Grandpa out
Are they
there.
that strong?
He would be out there doing yard work
I'm gonna find
with
out later.
what I believe we call now an A shirt. It's a wife beater
Mm-hmm.
with suspenders. You know,
my
like
dad wore those too.
blue or black Dickies work pants, boots, and he would have his handkerchief, and he would be out there gardening. Now I go
Who,
out
your
there,
grandpa?
Yeah, I'd go out there full sunscreen. I got
Oh, yeah.
wick
Floppy
away
hat.
Yeah, wick away shirts. I got a cool rag that I keep in the freezer.
Yes, for hydration.
Yeah,
you're
to go
pounding
pull a few
water.
weeds. Yeah, got a Camelback on. But don't feel bad about it.
Boy, Dad
Eating in
wore a
the,
wife beater
drive-thru.
too, under his, shirt,
Yeah.
suit, and everything that he wore to work every day. And I remember
Wait,
trying
what's the
it,
point of the?
'cause it's
And
not,
I refused. I'll call them A shirt.
it's not soaking up sweat. 'Cause
Right.
It's
not
a
protecting
tank
the
top.
pit area.
Yeah, so I didn't know why he would wear it.
I think
it's to protect the gripple display.
Yeah, it's nipple chafe from your scratchy old timey shirt.
Nip, nip.
And you don't want them, protruding,
right.
so as to seem like a bitch.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
they look cool in them, though. Not the
Yeah, it
nipples
was
of
a-
your grandpa. They look cool.
It was a cool look.
Yeah.
Like Marlon Brando was not wearing one of those. He was just wearing a T-shirt and Streetcar Named Desire, right? This is an old-timey movie. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it.
Was that made by Pixar?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, by the way, PSA for all of you. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Really?
Not even
You're
just
giving
as a
a
kid thing.
prostate-specific antigen for that?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
It's really good. As far as everything is going to be made from recycled IP, it's a very entertaining movie.
I watched it. That Jack Black song got popular on the charts.
It's a
You
good
watched
song.
it?
Yeah.
You've seen it?
Yeah, sure. I'm a huge Super Mario Brothers fan.
What was the controversy over it?
I don't believe
That
any
they
of it.
made
Anything
one
you
of the
say
Chris's Italian, but I can't remember which one. Chris Pratt.
Okay.
But Luigi is
ever. So
Charlie
that they
Day.
didn't hire a real Italian?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took that job away from a real Italian.
Right.
Which
It's just like Michael Block taking a
spot away from a real golfer.
All right, do we have time, Blake?
Get it back to sports.
What do we have? This is news.
Is this the Gordon segment summary? So at the end of last week's See You Next Tuesday, that's what you're listening to, by the way, if you're just tuning in.
Yes.
Every Tuesday, we do See You Next Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, I promote my Thursday 7:35 Twitch stream.
That's right. We're just trying to grow the brand.
Across different verticals.
You probably don't remember.
Verticals have always confused me. What do people mean by verticals?
But
Is that like a blog type thing, or
last Tuesday.
I think it means a different arm of the same business, right?
Oh, really?
I think.
I'm sorry, Dan.
Like
Yes.
you're a man who's involved in multiple verticals.
Oh, okay.
The print game.
All right. Yes,
Twitch
Dan.
game.
Go ahead.
We wanted
this
to know-
Thursday night on Twitch, we're having a big game show. And I don't think Jake could do it, right? You were out on it or you're in on it? I can't remember.
We are. the
Call me
family's
while
headed
I'm in the
to
shower and I'll join.
Disneyland Thursday
Okay,
afternoon
yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Just
I
have
will
him
be
call
there
me
soon.
that
I
night,
promise.
and I'll probably be on.
Okay.
Just have him call me. Last week we were asking, how often does our conversation dive into like female things? Like last week,
Yeah.
I think we were talking about if females could have kidney stones, and then we decided Gordon knows the most about the inner workings of the female.
Yeah, that was a short
Here at the Ticket.
conversation to arrive at that decision.
Yeah. Women can now have kidney stones. They couldn't until like the 60s or so.
They couldn't get him until
In the original Constitution, it was forbidden.
and then Prohibition happened.
Yeah.
So Blake went through Did you count how many segments we've done so far with Gordon?
Oh, no, I should have.
But it looks like 20 or so.
Yeah.
Dang.
Started in October, November.
October 4th was our first episode where Dan and Jake went shirtless.
Hell yeah.
Why?
I don't know. But it was our first
Such
ever.
hacks. So, never look back.
No.
The next week.
Never look back.
Never look back. There's nothing good that's happened back there.
Should I just talk about the female stuff? Because we did talk Aziz Ansari Kemp spins the next week. And, of course, he kind of has a Kemp spin, but it was a lady, she was upset that all he wanted was the fun.
You know what?
And
that was the moment when I realized that culture had fully changed.
Yeah.
When I read that account, and that was the generational divide of when I read, and he did not even ask me before I got there what kind of wine I wanted, and he had ordered, I don't know, red, and I like white wine, and he never even asked that, and it was already at the table ready when I got there, and I was so offended by that.
And she's offended by every step of their date.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then when we got back to his apartment, he asked me to pleasure him. I did, and then that's all he ended up wanting. It was.
Well, I'm backing away from Dan's.
But the point is that then this date's going horribly. She hates every part of it. Okay, I'll go back to his apartment. Oh, I'll certainly pleasure you. I mean, you're Aziz Ansari. And then it turns out that's all he wanted.
Once again, is out on a plank that I was not talking about. I
I'm
was just talking
laughing.
about.
So you don't agree with that?
I was talking about being offended that now that culture requires enthusiastic consent for what wine to order, that you think you're doing something nice by ordering.
I don't
bottle
think
of
the
wine.
Kemp spin. I don't think that's a Kemp spin or cancellation worthy if we don't get to the pleasure giving.
Well, I think that she's fine in saying she didn't want to
if
give
the date
it.
just ended because
little hand parties.
If the date just ended because he ordered wine for her, that would not be a story anybody would ever talk about.
That's correct.
It's because
But
they
I
had a
didn't-
sexual encounter that she was left wanting. She thought, oh, he didn't
She
return
felt
the favor.
less than.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what, though? I think the last 2-minute report ultimately has been nobody talks about that one anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like he can't work.
Yeah. He's doing
fine.
great.
Yeah, but also minimizing the consequences that someone suffers. That's a little annoying to me, too. When
Yeah,
people
I
go,
know.
hey, that guy's still got a job. And it's like, 6 years later, and he is playing at one smaller venue, and it's like, didn't hurt him at all. Yeah, okay.
All right, I only got through 2 episodes of the See You Next Tuesday so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, we're going to review each and every one of these as you go along this list.
Episode 3, we were talking, as far as just lady stuff, we talked about if your search history if your wife finds your search history, and you're searching, a porn site, girl with braces, which one is worse, mouth or legs?
Yeah. I think
what
mouth.
would your wife want?
Mouth. I think
That's
that
worse?
if you're searching the
Your
leg
wife would
braces
say-
thing, that's progressive.
Yeah, you're not being an ableist.
Yeah.
Whereas the other way, it's,
Yeah, you're gaining some progressive bona fides there.
What, honey?
What?
I'm attracted to.
They deserve to be lusted after, too.
And you have her wear a pair
mouth braces. Yeah, I mean, you
for
see.
a little cosplay. Jake, the next week.
Talk like you have polio, sweetheart.
The next week, Jake brought Gordon a shot of breast milk, and he drank it.
That's female related, isn't it?
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Not just any breast milk, fellas. The good stuff.
Yes.
Homemade in my home.
I have lovingly dranketed the body of. It's very communion-like. the body.
Have you met Jake's wife?
I've not. I don't know. Maybe back in the day. But
probably way back.
You kind of have, though.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
She's part of me now.
She's of you.
She's part of mine.
It's just me and you, and that's it. No one ever else.
The next week, we not only talked about hot governors. It was.
We probably talked about that one up north. What's her name? Is it Whitmire that's hot?
The debut
the one that almost got kidnapped.
Yeah,
placenta
Michigan.
talk.
The debut. Yeah,
big placenta talk on November 8th. I'm only on November 8th here.
So the placenta is actually an organ.
Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah, there you go.
The next week, if you're
Not
saying
bad.
lady stuff, Gordon said the least sexy, attractive person was
in the world.
You said it.
The least sexy, attractive person. It's a little redundant, but okay.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I said that I
Blake
do not,
is just quoting you.
Yes, I do not find her like she needs to know whether I find her one way or the other. It's just she's not. She's pretty, but she's not.
She's the celebrity
sexy
that
to
would
me.
be the most easy to replace with AI. Because there's not really much of a soul
Happy birthday
happening.
to Taylor.
The next week, Nancy
wifey.
Pelosi got a boob job, according to Jake.
Yeah, she must have.
We fast forward to January, where we talked about the only acceptable threesome having 4 walls and 2 balls.
Oh, jeez.
And that Jake showers with his clothes on with his dog, but nude with his daughter.
Yeah, that was an odd detail.
I did it this weekend, the dog part of it. The dog is 80 pounds. It's at the height. It thrashes around. The kid
Just the right height?
Yeah, and if it decides to take a bite out of him, he doesn't want it to be from there.
Entirely uninterested.
He doesn't have any to spare.
Then we reviewed the movie Happiness the next week. The next
She's only
week
17.
was the debut of the Gwyneth Paltrow candle.
Okay.
It looks like we got off the lady thing for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Conscious decision made.
How hard did we get off
And
that?
then, once April hit, we started giving out slang words for vagina.
Oh, please, never look back.
On April 11th, we determined Hitler's side piece was hot.
She was. That's fair.
April
that's just
18th.
history talk.
That's only fair. Yeah, that's history talk. You got this classification wrong.
Remember that, Jake?
April 18th, Jake gave us a Beatles Kemp spin.
Yeah, that
Beat the
involves
Beatles.
sexuality,
It's just kid
but
stuff.
not women's.
On the 25th, we determined 69 has its own Wikipedia page.
The French.
French invented that?
Apparently,
They're
I was
credited.
gone May 9th because it says here...
Cave people didn't do that?
Justin said he had a truck vagina.
Oh, yeah.
And not truck nuts.
Yeah.
Which exists. We looked it up.
It'd be truck labe, but yeah.
This
We
isn't...
didn't get with the technical.
Yes.
Not really female related, but on May 16th is when we started the 2 totally different things.
Yeah.
Totally different, somehow that...
They're totally different movies. Totally different types of
got
movies.
big. And then...
Poor Tom.
Okay, last week. Then we go back to kidney stones and Gordon knowing all about the female anatomy.
So
the innards.
what is that, 80%? Did Blake do the calculation as to how much is female related?
It's probably 80%. A lot of that page is highlighted.
Sounds like he did.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, there you go.
But
Sure.
this week was
Yeah.
about fast food. And that's important.
Yeah.
Yes. And we came up with a term.
What is it?
Post-glut clarity. It is actually kind of a thing now that I think about it. Just
Yeah.
kind of sitting there.
You sit back and just filling with shame
Right.
and just like, what did I just do? What's wrong with me?
But I do know more about where I'm headed in life in that moment.
Why do we do so many things?
You make it. You start promising yourself things, and I swear, man, I gotta quit this.
Why do we do so many things that right when we're done, we're like,
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, as
Why
I've
am
told
I
you guys,
this?
I throw the wrapper out in an alleyway on
Why
the way
am I
home.
this
I don't let
person?
that get to the house. Yeah.
Are other people this
I don't want to beat me anymore.
depraved?
Where's my tie?
All right.
Anyway, that's another edition of See You Next Tuesday.
Yay, best friends.
So 1 week from now, want to do it again?
Sure. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. I don't know.
What do you have to promote?
See you next Tuesday. 7:35 Thursday night, Twitch stream, big time game show I think is coming your way. With superstars and stuff.
When?
7:35 Tuesday or Thursday night.
Wait, what?
On Twitch.
Wait, Jake is...
I'm coming in hot. All right.
Sponsor?
BOETexas.com.
I got to go somewhere with all this Stars angst.
I know, man. We like you playing with emotion, though.
That's right. I'm
you're
not a great
better.
spectator.
No.
He's an angry bear over there.
Yeah, he was prowling all weekend long, back and forth, like Chris Rock on stage.
Bear.
Anyway, some HBO follow-up. So I actually fired up HBO this weekend. When are we doing Succession talk?
Whenever you want, King.
Because I don't feel like we should do it today, but I would. Like, I'm fired up to do it.
Yeah. It was a great experience.
What's the proper... Put it out on the ticket Twitter, Blake. What's the proper length? Should we do Succession talk Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? I don't even know if Blake will do that because he doesn't watch Succession, and that bothers me quite a bit.
You want me to do a Twitter poll on this?
Just saying, I know you're looking for bits on Twitter because we need engagement because that's important. Anyway, it was very seamless, I should say that. I don't know if I use Apple TV. I clicked on the HBO Max, app. It said you need to load a new one. So I just hit open to the new one, and it had all my password. I didn't have to re-put in the password and all that. So that, I will give it that.
I didn't have that experience.
You had to put in your password and all that?
Yeah, I had to download. I was under the impression that it would just change.
Yeah, the current app.
The icon and the app would just change.
I kind of don't like the new layout, and maybe that's just that I'm used to the old layout. Anyway, we do think changing the name from HBO Max to just Max is terrible. So someone sent me something that, interestingly enough, had a podcast. It's put out by New York Magazine. And interestingly enough, Kara Swisher is a tech journalist, co-hosts it with an NYU professor, Scott Galloway.
Libs.
Doesn't Kara Swisher do the HBO podcast after the show?
Don't know.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
Have you ever seen that?
I've seen it. But
They'll
I've
promote
never...
an HBO podcast where she will interview, I think it's Kara Swisher. Anyway, what do they think about the name change? Here is the guy, Scott Galloway.
I started a brand strategy firm. I've taught brand strategy for 20 years. It's hard to think of a stupider move. Brands like this take decades to build, and I have a real bias here because some of the most moving moments, I think, in the history of television, whether it's the Prince of Dorne saying, "I will be your champion" to Tyrion Lannister, or the mother in 6 Feet Under looking at the photos of her family and and sobbing. I just think HBO is literally one of the core associations of a brand built over decades. Is we have assembled a culture of creativity that is fearless in storytelling and moves people and creates. It is if you were to try and embody the zeitgeist of America, cultural America over the last 40 years, somewhere in that word cloud would be the letters H, B, and O.
So he's against it. Here's a little more.
But this is companies and organizations pray that over several generations they can build intangible associations of this quality and this depth.
And one more, he talks about why they made this decision.
This is whenever you can always really brain dead moves can always be reverse engineered to a guy in his 50s or his 60s who is making a decision from ego, not from business or shareholder value.
And they were just talking about how that's part of the, they merged with Discovery, and he's from the Discovery side.
Oh, yes.
And that's why
the take down pictures of your old dad.
Yeah,
your dad move. I moved in.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's horrible. This guy went on to say he thinks this will be this guy's legacy. That they're going to be teaching this in classes in 10 and 20 years of what not to do. As far as
it won't really change much for us, but certainly if you're someone in your 20s, maybe even early 30s, will you still say the new HBO show? How does it matter? How much does it matter? I don't know. I just always assume that when media companies do something now, especially the big Titanic size ones that are tough to turn, they're just doing it so they can keep making all of the money until they can't.
Oh man, I should have this ad, but I didn't find the ad. Gosh darn it. Have you heard the LeBron Taco Tuesday ad?
And I think of you every time.
Okay.
What a beating.
Well, we knew where you'd come down.
See if you can find that ad. But Taco Tuesday, do you know that LeBron tried to get that trademarked a couple years ago?
I do.
When he first started with the Taco Tuesday bits on social media?
Yeah.
It turns out it's already Taco Tuesday is already trademarked. So there's a place in New Jersey called Gregory's Bar. They trademarked it for the state of New Jersey only in 1982.
Greg.
So apparently Gregory's Bar owns Taco Tuesday. I didn't know that you could trademark something just for a state, but apparently they did. Taco John's in 1989 jumped on it, and they have the trademark in the 49 other states. Don't know if I'm familiar with Taco John's. Is that local?
No.
Okay.
I think it's a California thing.
Okay, well, they own it everywhere. And LeBron is upset about this.
I've got the LeBron commercial if you'd like to hear it.
Okay.
You know what it is. It's Taco.
Why did I get bleeped? Because this is a commercial and there's a trademark on Taco. I mean, how could someone own Taco?
Come on, man.
Everyone should be able to say and celebrate Taco. Taco.
What are we doing?
Thankfully, someone is doing something about it. No more trademark, no more bleeping, starting right now.
Taco Tuesday!
Okay, and now he's got the Taco Bell behind him because Taco Bell actually filed legal petitions to liberate the phrase Taco Tuesday for everyone, and then they announced LeBron is supporting their attempt to free the trademark. LeBron, or let's just say the LeBron Incorporated people, have issued a press release. Taco Tuesday is a tradition that everyone should be able to celebrate. All restaurants, all families, all businesses, everybody. Taco Tuesdays create opportunities that bring people together in so many ways.
My God.
And it's a celebration that nobody should own.
Man.
Which is very funny.
Considering that
he tried to trademark it. And now that he can't trademark it, he thinks everybody should be able to use it. It's wonderful.
And the Taco Bell angle is interesting, I guess, as well as LeBron Inc.'s angle, because they're not saying you can't eat tacos on Tuesday. Hell, call it that with your family. No one's stopping you from creating these life-changing moments that you're
And
referencing.
he's still putting it on social media. I don't think anybody sued LeBron.
I believe
Gregory's Bar.
I believe the issue here is that they don't want the other biggest taco company in the world, or to be able to make money off of it. And I kind of like Taco John's for holding out. Also, in that ad, it sounds like he's saying Taco Tees at least 3 or 4 times because of whatever he says after Tuesday. And maybe on the ones where he says Taco Tuesdays, and they left the S at the end.
Yeah, I've never thought of taco going with those.
No, I've not either.
But okay.
Even now, I'm trying to think of what I would even mean by that.
No, yeah.
Having a tough time.
You could put your toppings in the middle there, I guess, or something. I don't know. You kind of put your
got a soft taco
you
here.
put your meat right there in the middle, and then
okay, we're cooking.
All right. And finally, in Business Tuesday, good news, Blake. Adidas has decided they will not throw away all the Yeezys they have in stock. They're going to sell them.
Oh, good.
And donate the money to organizations that are helping us and that are helping people that were hurt by Kanye's statements.
Okay.
I always love that people were hurt by a statement.
Libs.
Well, I can see that. Maybe a little more than you can, but I don't understand how Adidas is going to spend that problem away.
They said they expected to lose $1.3 billion in revenue because they couldn't sell the Yeezy clothing and shoes. But being Business Tuesday, they have been under pressure from investors to determine what they're going to do with this merchandise. So they tried to ride the high horse out of town, and they said, yeah, okay, that's good. What about making money that we're going to be losing all this money?
These shoes.
So, yeah, maybe you can get some discount Yeezys because they were a very high-dollar shoe, right?
No, this ain't the news he's been waiting for.
What?
On the shoe and anti-Semitism front.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to go Kyrie. I thought I was going to have to buy my first pair of Adidas.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Kyrie.
No, Adidas can't sign Kyrie now. They're like the last people on earth that could handle that. That's not. That's not on the card.
Did Nike pull a Mark Cuban retiring Kobe's number?
I think they did.
Kind of cut ties with Kyrie before everybody decided,
You suspend the partnership. That's what you do. You suspend
And then
the
you
partnership. That's all anybody in
reactivate
America should be doing. People forget stuff.
Then you reactivate?
Yeah. That was their best-selling shoe. I mean, obviously in the Nike line, not the Jordan line, but I bet you those sold better than LeBron's.
Oh, for sure.
People love the Kyries.
Whoa.
They're nice shoes. Guy tweets a link. No, they should have just done the suspension thing, as bad as it was, what he was involved in, and just let it blow over.
Are little Carter's feet big enough for the Lucas yet?
No, we're getting there, though. We're getting very close.
All right, well, there's another edition of Business Tuesday. Let's do the
this thing.
1:30 news next.
Okay.
Here's Jake with the 1:30 news.
All right, thank you, Blake. Thank you, Halo God Guy. Here he is, Ham.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Milestone Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and more.
Remember when I told you guys about jugging last week?
Jugs.
The crime where you watch someone go to a bank ATM and then you follow them and jump into their car while they're getting gas and steal their money.
Bad name for that crime.
I remember the wacky picture.
Yeah, the picture is quite wacky. As there's a guy decided not to just open the door. He is in the window with his legs halfway hanging out. It's very cartoonish. That woman who was burgled, she spoke to WFAA and she said that the guy had been following her for 15 minutes. That's grit right there.
Sure.
This was not across the street. You kind of hang out in the parking lot.
Got to hand it to him.
You kind of have to.
And she didn't call the cops?
She did. There are no arrests. There have been no arrests made. The police in Royce City, where this happened, say they believe there are 3 suspects involved. A team of the best.
You got this.
Okay, how about a little bit of good news? We talk a lot of, boy, what's going on with the Texas state government? This is some crazy stuff.
Yes.
I think we talked about this story a couple
They're doing
years ago.
stuff at like 1 a.m.
Such a bad idea. Such a bad idea. I know that's no one's going to feel bad for state representatives, but I mean, how many studies do we need to show that people operate poorly on no sleep? This is why, didn't we read about Dan Campbell, his growth maybe from year 1 to year 2, that he said he would just stay at the office, and I'd sit there and drink another liter of coffee. And he's like, yeah, then I kind of figured out if I just went to bed and came back at 5 a.m. or 4:30 in the morning.
Much fresher.
Yeah,
ready.
that's why when you guys, when we talk about like our schedules and stuff, I just think once like 9 o'clock hits, it ain't happening for me.
Bitch.
Yes, I may bitch.
That's what it boils down to.
But if I then get up and re-rack in the morning, much better chance.
You know what Anthony Davis said? The most surprising thing about LeBron was when he started playing with him?
This is true.
What? How much he sleeps. He realizes getting a lot of sleep is very important.
He's explained this to me at length.
And he's a billionaire
on my Calm
now.
app. That's right.
Are you?
I got to be headed there because I listen to LeBron on Life Advice. But you know what I'm saying? Just to have people that are in charge of the government up there at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Especially all the olds.
Libs.
No good.
Yeah.
No good.
But I also thought they did that just to slip stuff by us.
Probably. Slip it by at 4 a.m. Get a 4 or 5 hours. Even that's worth it. But as far as positives from the Texas state government, the Crown Act has been signed into law by Greg Abbott. That is a law. CROWN stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. It prohibits discrimination on the basis of hair texture or protective hairstyle associated with race. So basically what you have is that primarily black people at school being told you can't have your hair like that, or if you don't cut your hair differently, you can't graduate or go to prom, or you can't, wear that for your hair. If it's something protecting your hair because your hair is different. And this is something that I think, Chris Rock did that documentary some years ago. Was it Good Hair? I can't remember what it was called, but it's something that I don't know that a lot of white people think about.
Did Cam Newton start this?
Start what? Oh, him saying that he would have a starting quarterback job if he had different hair?
Yeah.
No, I think probably what's more likely is that Cam Newton is glomming on to something that helps him make his case without him admitting that he's not good anymore. Because this is something that students have dealt with for a long time.
He's like, man, I should have started kneeling.
Yeah, that would have helped.
I could have leaned into that.
Or completing passes. That was also
one of the two.
An option. So the bill will go into effect on September 1st.
So we need a law.
Well, we have to have a law because I'm sure.
So that much bad stuff is happening that we actually need something written down.
So get your licks in over the summer.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Kids at summer school are in trouble.
What about no hair? I thought that's what the bill was about, not discriminating against the bald, which is done.
Probably not super common in high school, but I do agree that,
again,
our bald kings should be respected. You know what? I had a brush with mortality this morning. I was thinking about shaving my head. It's hot. Just like to do it every year. So
I used to do it every summer. It's great.
And then I pulled this part back, and I thought,
you getting an alley?
It's not noticeable when I have hair, but
I don't think you are.
That's a little further back.
You're 38.
No, I mean,
you look great.
Thank you. I don't think balding is not in my family history on either side.
Is there no way you'll ever go bald? Will you state
Shut
that?
up.
What?
The only reason you want me to say that is so that I will, and then you can play this tape.
Yeah, I'm looking
years
long
down
term.
The line. No, I'm not going to say that. But I did think,
I'm going to write down that you did say it.
I'm like Ken Paxton.
Do whatever. I don't care.
You guys are just trying to come up with these trumped up hoax charges, and I'm over here trying to lead. I don't know what's going on with Ken Paxton. I just kind of wanted to say it.
I read a thing where, so Ken Paxton gets impeached, but his wife is in the Senate, and they're sending it, so you got to send it like the House, the Texas House impeached him. And then they send it to the Texas Senate, but his wife is in there. And so she gets to vote on whether or not they get rid of Ken Paxton. Is that true?
I believe so. I would imagine she would have to recuse herself, but I don't know how any of this works.
There'd have to be a law to make her do it.
Yeah. All because Ken Paxton got a couple free countertops, maybe a nice island, a new range.
Yeah, I heard that. So part of it was he accepted. Is this like the Supreme Court guy who takes big trips on someone else's dime?
Clarence
it's the same
Thomas?
thing? Yeah.
It's in the same realm.
But part of buying off Ken Paxton was, hey, what if I just redo your kitchen? He's like, yeah.
Which you know exactly how
that's
that
a lot
works.
better than just getting $30,000, right?
They set it all up?
Yeah, don't have to deal with all
contractor?
that. Yeah.
Horrible. However,
what a great
as
bribe.
much as I love a nice remodeled kitchen or remodeled bathroom, these seem like the sort of benefits you get when you have to run by doing some crimes. You have to run it by your wife. And she's like, whoa. Yeah. If.
Right, we'll do that if we can get a more open concept here.
Right. If I ended up in government and all
we
of a
need to
sudden,
knock a wall down, dude. I've been looking at that wall for years.
I feel like you need to be careful because that might be bearing a load.
Oh, yeah. I won't do it.
LBW.
But if I get elected for local office and then I shoot you guys a group text and I'm like, hey, I have 6 new jet skis. Meet me at the lake.
I'll take one.
You'll know that I had done some corruption.
Can you jet ski in the pool?
Not very far.
I'd like to watch you try.
Let's get one in there.
I just don't think kitchen or bathroom or drapes would be on my corruption crime list. And I think you only get to that point if you have to talk to your wife about the crimes.
Man, I wish you had 6 jet skis. That would be awesome.
Me too, Ty.
We could all ride them together in a triangle formation.
No, seriously, we were on a boat this weekend.
Like the Blue Angels.
We were on a boat this weekend, and I saw off to the side of the boat in the distance, there were 4 jet skis approaching top speed, same time, and they clearly all were next. They were.
Did you have music playing in your head?
Danger Zone.
Oh, of course, yeah. And I just
Awesome,
nudged my
kick-ass.
brother. I'm like, that looks like a heist because it just does.
That'd be a great getaway.
Oh yeah,
for a heist.
Yeah.
Are there any banks on the bank of a?
You doing your set?
Be called the Bank, yeah.
Okay, I don't hate that. And this probably qualifies as a bit of a today in Twitter because I saw this video posted and had gone viral for all sorts of reasons, Norm. So a mom shows up at her child's elementary school graduation.
Go on.
I didn't think that'd stop you.
It's getting better.
By the way, I think there was a time when I thought, ugh, all these graduations, kindergarten, we would make fun of Julie.
Yeah.
2nd grade, 5th grade. I don't want to turn into Garrison there.
And now you're like,
they're bad.
Mr. Hat.
But now I just think, whatever. If they want to celebrate the kid, give them a pizza pie and a little ribbon or something, whatever. Who cares?
I was against the high school graduation. Just because you got to go and sit there for 3.5 hours just to hear one name.
If you want to make
One
it
name.
about is it a beating for me,
just to hear Seal,
I'm fine with that. But as far as a cultural implication, I don't know that I'm that up in arms.
You are
about
getting
it.
soft.
He is. Listen at him.
Man, real Jake would never have said this. Are you an alien?
Jake Z.
This is an alien.
The story is at an elementary school near Houston. They had apparently told the parents about this beforehand, but some parents say they had asked and told, it's whatever. It's a little fine print. No big deal. They banned parents from bringing siblings into the graduation.
Okay, well, that seems idiotic.
So if you have a baby and a 9-year-old or 10-year-old or 11-year-old, however you would be 5th grade, you can't bring them in.
Fuck out of here.
And so when the parents show up, they start recording, and the principal doesn't exactly do herself any favors because she's just like, yeah, we told you. You know, this is the policy. Sorry, but you can't bring them in. You know, we talked about this.
So there's a lobby full of babies, and
they're not even in the lobby. They're outside.
Just put the baby outside.
There's a bunch
put it
of
in the
parents
car.
holding kids and
What's
babies.
the reasoning?
Baby?
I think the school said that they didn't have room, and the parents start trying to, come back with, yeah, well, you've let them in all year. Like when we had parent-teacher day, when we had book fair, that sometimes we come and bring them, the smaller kids, to the playground, which, fair, but also probably the school saying, yeah, but we didn't let everyone in the school do that at once, so we can't really have them all in here. So I don't know if the
what
school,
ended up happening here.
The parents yell and scream, and then the principal gives the very bless your heart, I'm sorry you're upset, can't bring him in, and then she gives him I love this in any public confrontation now, I'm glad you're recording, I hope you are, post it.
Why?
And now, do you think she's still glad?
I don't think she's under any fire for this. I don't think this is anywhere near the league of dress like a student day and posting it and saying, look at my school in the ghetto, the story we discussed last week. But yeah, if you want to keep going, I don't get mad at kids at restaurants anymore. I don't get mad at kids on a plane.
Yeah, the kid on the plane I don't get mad at just because I know the parent is not wanting that.
You get more mad at how the parent is handling it.
But they're going to handle it how they're going to handle it.
Well, they're sitting there not doing anything.
Maybe the kid's got something going on and he doesn't respond to this or that. I'm just not.
They're just waiting for the Benadryl to kick in.
I guess I don't care as much because I got some noise-canceling headphones.
Whoa.
And the only reason to have them is to be on a plane with them. It's so great. I mean,
you don't ever use them at home?
Oh, yeah, I do. Which is also kind of great because you can press a button and you'll get ambient sound if you want. But you kind of indicate to your wife that you're wearing these, and now she'll know to stop yelling at you from the other room.
No, she doesn't.
So you're saying...
Really?
And are those harder to take off and do the aggressive...
Oh, it's a big thing.
What was that? Big
but do you do
these days?
Do you do the production of... So you just take your phone out of your back pocket?
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
Hold on.
Somehow I'm wearing the tightest pants of all time.
Hold on, I got to open this window. All right,
Face ID's not working.
Pause it. All right, yeah, what?
What was that? What was?
I was just saying that...
See, I still have like the full headphones, so I do like the meme of the guy taking his headphones off.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, the soccer coach.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for the 1:30 news today. Coming up, I was talking to my wife this morning, and she's like, "Oh, what do you guys got today? Ty went to dinner with his wife, or Ham got gas." I was like, "That's just so rude."
Why is she going at us?
Ty, you want to do better than that?
I will go better than that. I had 2 different birthday parties that I was involved with.
Look at that.
One was my daughter's 8th birthday party yesterday. We did trampoline place.
Hell yes.
It was great because we didn't have to clean up afterwards. The one I think you'll probably be more interested in, it was a small affair, but yes, I went to a dog birthday party.
Oh my gosh.
How old is DJ's dog?
It wasn't DJ's dog.
Guy died this
Yeah,
morning.
because they do half birthdays, right, for DJ's dog.
It was my sister-in-law's dog. And it was just me, my wife, my mother-in-law, my daughter, and our dog.
Does sister-in-law have children?
No.
Well, there you go.
Her dogs
Does
are her
anyone
children.
who has a dog
No.
birthday party have children?
No.
No, because once you have kids, you start to hate your dog.
So this is your wife's sister?
Yes.
All right.
So,
Would you?
yeah, so they had their little...
Whoa.
Well, you answered that
No.
quickly.
A little more separation.
Again, he played the drop as I was about to say.
No, I totally get it. It's forbidden fruit, my friend. It's
they had
the best kind.
The pup cakes for the doggies.
Pup cakes.
So this is an industry now that we don't know
Oh,
about?
absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely.
For sure. So it's a little
but
bit.
Your kid probably enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, because we got birthday hats and the dogs are wearing hats, and I was like, okay.
Do you have to buy stuff for the other dogs? Like at a kid's birthday party?
Yeah, a gift pack to take home.
I don't know if we bought a present for the dog. I was not made aware of it.
No, I mean, does the host like with a kid birthday party?
like goodie bags?
So you have kids. Do you acknowledge your dog's birthday?
I don't know when it is.
Yeah, okay. We usually note it. It's in the calendar, and then like, oh, yesterday was Bodie's birthday. Huh.
Yeah.
We don't do anything. Because you have kids.
Maybe if there was an empty nest situation, it'd be fun. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know the birthday either. I know the day we got her, and they said, I don't know, she looked about 8 weeks old.
What voice is this?
She was found in a sack in Wise County, like on the side of the road. So
the papers weren't
paperwork. Yeah, that's good. I liked that.
See.
And Ham, what does he usually do, according to your wife?
Go get gas.
Well, the good news for her is I did go get gas. It was 3:09, filled up my tank. But also this weekend, I went to Grandma's 90th birthday party.
What'd you get her?
Card.
Coffin.
SpaghettiOs.
No. We did have chicken tenders, and it was great, though.
At her birthday?
Yeah.
This is a family...
It was family function, yeah.
No, but I mean the Tendy love is family related.
Does Grandma listen?
No.
Does she know you're famous?
She knows I work at a radio station.
Which to her is the top medium in the world.
Yes. She lamented she wishes she had a radio so she could listen to me talk on air.
On AM radio.
90.
90.
Damn, that's pretty good.
I got good genes.
We know.
Boy, I don't think I do.
You wouldn't know.
Because of my biological father, who I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
And you just bring that up flippantly and laugh like this isn't a horrible thing that haunts me every evening. Can't get to sleep.
What'd you guys do at the party?
Talked to other relatives.
Is she like lucid? Do you have to blow out the candle for her?
That's called visiting.
Yeah.
Do you put 90 candles on the cake?
No.
And then make her blow it out and she's all out of breath and she collapses?
No. We gave her one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's she doing?
I mean,
is she rocking?
She broke her leg recently, which isn't good.
Oh, I shouldn't have asked. Well, my wife's mom lived till, grandma lived till she was like 94. And she was rocking when she was 90.
Yeah, she's a trooper other than the leg thing.
Yeah, well, I think, just the shell kind of breaks a little bit. Look at me. I'm falling apart.
I assume softball was off, Blake?
No, we played.
Oh, you know why I know Blake played? Look at his arm.
Oh, has he got a situation? Now I can make fun of him like he does me every Monday.
Yeah, it's all torn up.
There was a ball in the hole, and I just max effort all the time, so...
Did you get it?
No, I didn't.
Doesn't matter.
But that shows the heart
of course.
and the effort I give
It's
to
almost
my
better
team.
to not get it. Because then you get dirty.
So one thing I did this weekend was we had some people out, several couples at the lake, and we went out. I went out Monday morning.
Table?
I guess it was just yesterday. Picnic table was not in play. I went and got donuts early in the morning for everyone. That's a relatively cheap cost.
Is that when you called me?
No.
Okay.
I was already back.
Because you call me on donut runs.
I do.
I'm
but this
aware
was
of
an
that.
early one because there was a bunch of people there. It's something you can do that costs almost nothing. Only takes about 20 minutes, but it's like you're God.
And look what
When
Jake
you walk back
did!
in.
Oh, man!
Yeah. And so what I did is what I usually do, which is listen to the ticket on the way. And I was enjoying some afternoon delight in the morning.
Is that you, Ham?
Yes, we were.
Ham,
Morning
DJ.
glory when we're
There
in the
you go.
mornings.
That's what you were calling it. Ryan Medlin, Deddy on tickers.
Did you pick that name?
I approved of that name.
EA on the board.
Because you're against the name Afternoon Delight for your weekend show.
Hate it, but I didn't have anything better.
Sometimes that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
So I heard this, and I was actually waiting for this because I did have a friend with us this weekend who is really stoked on F1. And there were no sporting events on early in the morning. There was a scant amount of sports over the weekend. So I know Ryan's F1 guy, and so I was waiting on this.
Buffalo Bills, the favorites, according to
Talking,
betting websites, to land
DeAndre
at plus
Hopkins
200.
here.
The Chiefs at plus 300. Then the Cowboys, the third best odds, at plus 400. Just real quick, there was a Formula One race yesterday.
Yes.
And
yesterday was the big racing day. You had the Monaco Grand Prix in the morning. You had the Indy 500 in the afternoon. And then I think it's like the Coca-Cola's 300 at night. 500? Sure. 300, 500, or 700.
that
I
is
can't quite
EA
remember.
disrespecting NASCAR.
So, big day of racing. Did you want me to say more about Monaco?
30 seconds.
Well, when you look at the Monaco Grand Prix,
25.
it's all about qualifying. Whoever's going to qualify in that top spot has a good chance to win the race. And Max Verstappen, of course, on the final lap.
Okay, and he did have an informative, up-to-date F1 take here, and this is how his crew treated him.
Of course, Max Verstappen takes pole. Fernando Alonso in the 2 spot. And the big surprise of the day, Esteban Ocon, third on the podium.
Monaco's not in America, right? Because we had an American race yesterday. The great American race yesterday.
7:51 here on the ticket.
Such disdain. And DJ wasn't helping either, saying
Number one!
that you're disrespecting NASCAR.
And how about EA with that drop there? That one will come back up here as DJ really, he got me on this one. I'm not going to lie to you.
Can I run one scenario by you?
Or they lost the first game of the series at home. Sorry.
Right. This may seem a little far-fetched, but you are a former goalie, correct?
Yes, state champion, goaltender of the year for Texas, national champion.
That's EA diminishing some of your life's biggest accomplishments there.
He plays it again, but I'm thinking, all right, Ryan was a goalie. DJ's got a question for him. Ottinger was coming off of a rough game.
I have some experience.
Let's hear that rundown of credentials again.
Yes, state champion, goaltender of the year for Texas, national champion.
That's EA diminishing some of your life's biggest accomplishments there.
I have some experience.
So you're a person who could answer this. So I would assume that Otter is going the distance in this one. We're not going to see a situation where Wedgwood is going to come in unless something absolutely horrific happens.
Don't even say it, DJ.
Jamie Benn is coming back for this one.
Capitan.
Slide in between the pipes.
Is there a scenario, if Otter gets in trouble early, where DeBoer slides the captain between the pipes to save this thing? Yes or no?
Speaking of Detroit, mentioning that earlier, I'm interested more.
Answer my question.
No.
Right now.
There's not.
I honestly thought DJ had a good question for
Ryan
him.
hates working with you guys, doesn't he?
I don't think he likes it. Except you do occasionally give him the chance to read off his resume there. And then he follows it with that.
Love it.
All right, Why Today Doesn't Suck is next.
YouTube.com/@SportsGreek.
Once again, the Hang Zone presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
I mean, all the housewives referenced it. Hey, it's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday. I mean,
And now, here are your hosts, Jay Kemp and Dan McDowell.
What's up, Jay?
All right, at 2:58, he's got good genes. He's Ham.
Thank you, Jake. Eatsies Market and Bakery brings you Dan. Feel bad for me because I don't know my dad, McDowell.
Oh, I don't know my dad.
Man.
Tough day today, right, bro?
Today?
Yeah.
Why?
Stars.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Your dad may have died in the war.
Who knows?
But you don't really know.
Joining us now, it's the hard line. We've got Bob, Corby, Dave.
The war.
Who brought us a victory yesterday.
Dude,
I thought
don't
you guys
be
were
that
working.
guy.
I thought you guys were working to help the Stars. I wanted to work.
You're working to prepare for the
In
stars.
retrospect,
But as I was telling Blake earlier, I was too emotional.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done a show.
In
I was
retrospect,
a wreck yesterday.
It was a terrible idea.
Because it's your fault.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet Ric Flair?
We should have scratched Bob.
Yeah.
Get it?
We swapped numbers.
Like
Did
Ben.
you see the NBC thing?
No.
Staged.
You think so?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was.
Did he fight Tom
Are you
Hicks?
serious?
Something
Yeah.
like
It has to be, right? Ric Flair is just not walking up to live shots, Jake.
I'm going to believe it. And that
Okay, interesting here.
every match he won
So
was
Bob
real
is saying
too.
that's staged.
It was.
Well, let's think this through.
And then Newey and them are laughing. Oh my
Marty-
gosh, who could have predicted
Marty Turco and Ric Flair are in the same suite.
Something staged
Or
with a
suite
wrestler?
adjacent. And one's doing a live shot, the other one walks into it.
Now, did Marty know he was going to be on?
With us?
Like in
Or
general?
on the live shot?
I'm just asking.
You just wonder if
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. I'm asking if he knew he was going to be on or not. That's all.
today is Tuesday, May 30th, 150th day of the year.
No, it
215
wasn't
days
bad.
left in 2023. On this day in 1961, an 18-pound meteorite fell in a backyard in Marshall, Texas.
What's the cutoff for meteorite?
Before it becomes a Big Daddy meteor.
Yeah.
Did it do anything? Did it, like,
No, you're just a little guy.
burn a hole in their yard or anything?
I think it broke open and a baby came out of it.
A baby. Like an
Looked a lot
alien
like
baby?
Yoda. What are you
Oh,
saying?
Superman. Okay.
Picked up a truck.
Is that how Mork happened?
It came out of an egg.
Mork.
Well, you know, with
Nanu.
Mork, they're born old.
Hey, Ty, what is Mork's dad's name on the show? Or baby? What was the baby?
Mirth.
Yeah, but the actor.
Jonathan
Winters.
Winters.
Actually.
Mike McCarthy
Going to Corgi,
is starting to
actually.
look a lot like Jonathan Winters.
Okay.
He starts talking to himself. We're going to have to watch.
Mork.
On this day in 1989, student
Mork.
protesters in Beijing erected a Goddess of Democracy
China.
statue in Tiananmen Square.
And what?
Tiananmen.
I don't know.
And
The
then they
statue
had
was
parties.
destroyed in the Chinese government's crackdown. So a true yay boo situation there.
And by the way,
Like,
Coach,
yeah, we're defeating democracy.
Well,
Coach
we got
McCarthy,
we got an early, by the way.
if you're listening, it's a compliment that you look like Jonathan Winters.
Yeah, I'm sure.
On this day in 1992, Minnesota twin Bert Blyleven became the second player ever to win as a teenager and a 40-year-old. Who
On
was the
acid.
first?
Yeah, on acid.
The first player to ever get a major league win as a teenager and then again as a 40-year-old.
Nolan.
Jamie Moyer.
Nolan Ryan was 0-1
David Clyde.
as a 19-year-old.
Mm.
Didn't get it.
it
Bob
was-
Feller? Rapid Robert?
Herb Pennock,
Yeah, her.
who is a Hall of Famer, and then later, and I was looking into this morning, later Mike Morgan of the A's actually did it. I've never seen a guy who has, he had a 20-some year career.
Ranger great, right?
I think he might have had 1 year with the Rangers,
99.
right? He has a 20-some year career. Most of it is a starter, and he won like 140 games. Don't you think that's kind of incredible?
Yeah.
To be a fourth or fifth starter your whole career?
Right, for 20 years.
Because if you had that...
More than you had.
Yeah.
It really is.
Such an ender. And on this day in 2015, Jake, the son of President, at the time, Vice President Joe Biden, Beau Biden, died at age 46 of brain cancer. Go ahead, Jake.
Man?
Well, at least
What happened after that?
he knew that someone would take care of his widow.
Who?
Well, his brother.
Oh.
Yeah, his brother, who said that Joe actually gave him the blessing. It's weird.
Was he married?
Yeah.
So he divorced his wife to be with his dead brother's wife.
I don't know that he divorced first.
It probably wasn't worded that way either.
Maybe
Brain
they
cancer,
had a
gray.
In the
Maybe
paper.
they had a free use agreement in place.
It's possible.
I've seen those.
But then, the laptop.
The crack.
Hunter.
We have P1 birthdays. Oh, so this came in on Friday, but it went to my spam in my email. This is from former Bad Radio intern Connor Reisenhoover.
Bork.
He sucked.
He says it's the please wish my friend and disgraced former ticket employee Trey Mitchell happy 30-ish birthday.
The great Trey Mitchell.
He's a huge P1. He's sorry he broke your washing machine. That's right. He did break the washing machine, didn't he?
Get in line, right? Towel rack.
On the tour of your house, do you go over all these items that have been
anything to do for a week?
Broken, misplaced, stolen?
The big thing was my wife had a flower pot that was like made by one of the kids. It was a Mother's Day gift, and it had nice little, some stupid writing on it like Happy Mother's Day.
Didn't a man have to hide it when he was a nom?
Yeah. And we came home from vacation once after Trey was watching our house, and the flower pot was overtly, like it was clearly broken, but then glued back together, and the glue is like, it was a poor glue job. And he thought nobody would notice it.
Did you ever
the
confront
Japanese,
him?
they celebrate broken things.
Was it a happiness glue job?
Yeah.
It may have been. It was a bit salty.
This will work.
I'm all out of glue.
Courtney had
Happy
her
birthday,
40th
though.
birthday on Friday. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Trey.
Yeah, Trey.
Trey, the host of our podcast, our weekly podcast.
Bear stew?
right.
You know why? Because we don't make him do the video training.
That's right, yeah. We'll just pay you
We'll let you do that.
cash.
He can offend whoever he wants while doing our podcast. 40th birthday, again, missed on Friday. Courtney. Leaders the Ticket Mouse and Mushmouth. Says here she's single, so what's up, Mino?
Yeah, Mino.
Mino.
Why don't you hit that, Brev?
Sydney Sweeney would be mad at me.
Yeah, she would.
P1 Ryan Corndog King. It's his birthday. My son Jamie Garrison is 5 from Alex Garrison. Do you think that's okay to wish a 5-year-old happy birthday, Jake?
No, but I like that guy.
Who doesn't?
He does say hashtag more Joe.
Yeah.
He liked the Joe Kemp appearance.
Did Joe have fun this weekend?
He did.
Good.
Did he kill any dogs?
He did not. No.
Stop it.
Did not kill any dogs. Driving back today.
P1 Father Steve is
listening.
63.
With his finishing move, the dog killer.
But he definitely was listening when we wondered whether or not he can still sling it. And the answer is yes.
Why does he kill dogs like he's trying to pry open the jaws of an alligator?
P1 Father Steve, that's from P1 Taylor, would like to hear Norm yell at a caller.
Shut up for a minute! Shut up for a minute!
God.
That's the is too fight. It is too, it is too, it is too, it is too.
Shut up for a minute.
Was he fighting with Blake?
It's not that far off.
Can you do hurdle with Norm fights?
Can I?
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
All right, get that ready, Blake, for tomorrow.
For tomorrow?
Write that down, Blake.
Yeah.
Why not tomorrow?
With a pain.
Why are you against
Because
everything?
I don't think Blake can do it.
Ooh, interesting. Ooh. See, whereas I think he can.
Yeah.
Jack.
We've been trying to book the lowest billed character on Succession for 4 seasons and haven't pulled that off. So
Why don't you do
I
it?
also thought that the Stars could win last night.
Who are we trying to get? Greg?
Anyone.
That's not even close.
We're like anyone, Blake. Anyone. Jerry, give us
Greg. Come on. We're talking about Jess over
Who
here.
are the
We're
old
so
guys?
desperate.
Yeah,
How about
like-
new Jess?
We had a debate about new Jess.
Who's the skinny Pete of Succession?
Hugo. Oh, okay.
Dude,
I see what you're saying.
Hugo would be a great get.
Oh, yeah.
Skinny Pete's a good guest.
It was
Oh, I
comical
love
that you guys had him on, and like 3 days later we had Bryan Cranston on, though.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I know my lot. What's from noon to 3?
What's going on with Hugo?
I mean, I think that's got to be question one. Hugo, what's
going on, dude?
What's
Jack
with your neck?
Dubs Wright is 25, New York's biggest P1.
Let's just get this out of the way.
I mean,
Hugo.
Thanks and
he's
gig
gotta
'em
be
from
sick.
Steven.
Huh?
He's got to be sick. What? Like, it's got to be some sort of a ailment.
You don't think he's gone through life like that?
No, I think that's probably something.
You know, something.
I'm seeing here
Woof, woof.
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
You think those guys switch sides
Oh.
pretty easily?
Way to go, Jake.
Okay. Hey, if you get Hugo, why don't you tell him I said his deck?
I think we can read the transcript back.
Elsewhere, we have former Maverick Harrison Barnes, 31.
Good dude.
We traded him during a timeout.
For nothing.
Can't stand.
And then announced it, and he had to walk out
He had to go
slowly.
sit on the other bench.
Former Maverick Evan Eschmeyer, 48.
Bingo.
Whoa.
He was once the answer.
Didn't you do a weekly with him?
Probably thinking about it.
I
Evan
believe-
Eschmeyer, I think he averaged like 4 points a game in his whole career.
I believe at his introductory press conference, like the attribute that they wanted to sell us most on was he sets good picks.
9.1 points per game career average.
That's
he
not
wishes.
right.
Yeah, it's like four points a game. He made $17 million in his career.
God.
He's 6'11".
But those picks.
Right.
More than you.
Bet he could take a charge.
Much like Michael Block. If I was 6'11",
Yeah.
I'd probably be
Right.
the best player in the NBA.
I'd set picks like you wouldn't believe.
That's a good question. If you were 6'11", Jake, with your limited athletic ability,
Yeah.
would you be in
Very.
the NBA? Not now.
I think probably so.
Yeah, you kind of have to be.
The answer is no.
Well, the difference is
no,
that
and it's not an offense to Jake. It's just reality.
I think the
do you
difference
mean?
is that you start.
There's
because
hardly
that's-
any 6'11" people.
No,
that
there's
aren't
hundreds
in the NBA.
of them that
Yeah,
aren't in
you
the
know,
NBA.
Name one.
Well, two are the bartenders over the place we show up all the time.
That's a good one.
You know what? I don't want to play for the Nuggets.
There you go.
I'm bartending.
They have too many big men.
I think I'm hanging on spot 14 or 15. I think so.
In Turkey.
About 0.5% of people that are 7 foot or taller play in the NBA.
0.5%.
So that's almost all of them.
Yeah.
The 99.5% is the way to say it.
Almost 1%.
Yeah, but that doesn't count foreign leagues.
Manny Ramirez, 51.
Jake's in like the Honduran League lottery.
I would play.
Jake, I just want to let you know,
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Thank you. I can feel it.
Steven Tobolowsky is 72.
Call him.
Good friend.
Did he get canceled?
Nah.
They might have tried.
For what?
He's
I don't
Needle
know.
Nose Ned. Ted McGinley is 65.
Sounds familiar.
Ted McGinley with a nice little comeback here as of late.
Now, he's a key actor in Jumping the Shark, right? If you add
Yeah.
Ted McGinley, you jump the shark.
Shrinking.
Yeah, he's in Shrinking, and he's in something else, too. I can't remember what it is.
You
but-
watch Shrinking,
Revenge
Dan?
of the Nerds.
No.
Yeah, that's it,
Should
Ty.
I really liked it.
Revenge of the Nerds.
I think you would like it too.
Okay. I'm in. I need new shows. Actor Ralph Carter is 62. That's Michael Evans from Good Times. The little kid.
Are
Michael?
you coming up on the 2 months a year where you watch new shows, Dan?
CeeLo Green, 48.
Yep.
That's Sod.
CeeLo Green.
Winona Judd, 59. And Ty
Yes.
gave me a thumbs up this morning for this one.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake Roberts,
Whoa.
68.
Legend. Hall of Famer, despite mountains of cocaine done.
Finishing move. Ty, go.
DDT.
Honky Tonk Man.
Shake, rattle, and roll.
Big Boss Man.
Oh, pass. Sausage fingers. Sausage fingers.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Hot Carl. Yeah, Hot Carl.
Born on This Day Now Dead.
Ted McGinley was Mr. Scream in Wayne's World.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fisher Stevens, the actor that plays Hugo at the age of 15, had his spleen removed.
Way to go, Dan.
After a diagnosis with Hodgkin's disease, and he has dealt with it ever since.
Well, maybe we could book the spleen.
Don't put my name at the end of it.
Can we book the spleen?
Yeah, let's go as low as we can.
Get a call
Hugo's
in.
old spleen.
Get on that, Blake.
Write that down.
Joining us now is the spleen
of Hugo.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Isn't Hugo the Rat at 8:40?
Yeah.
I would take
Hugo the
Lucas's
Rat.
drinking buddy, who I'm not sure speaks any English.
Oh, yeah, I love that guy.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Born on This Day Now Dead. Gail Sayers and Bob Evans, restaurant owner.
Big Boy?
No, Bob Evans. You ever heard of Bob Evans?
Yeah, but I get
It's the
those
restaurant.
confused.
It's the place I worked as a kid.
Sausage fingers.
Didn't we have a version of it down here that
Yes.
was called something different, like Shoney's or something?
Shoney's is a place.
No, it's
that
not Shoney's.
Is in the
It's a
genre.
southern restaurant.
What was the Canadian place where the woman grabbed her own feces and threw it at the front desk or whatever it was?
Those are Timbits.
Owens.
But I'm not going to be eating there.
Owens,
Bob
yeah.
Owens?
Yeah. Owens restaurants.
And
But it was exactly the same. It
was.
Like it looked the same.
Solved a lot of problems here.
Shout out to Hugo.
It's Mr. Scream.
And Mr. Scream.
I know.
Or which is brought to you by
All Pro Foundation Repair.
And here he is, Dave.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Thank you. Thank you. As I teased, we have a couple of stories that make this a E-News Community Quick Hits crossover event.
Love it.
Because Elizabeth Holmes, the subject of that Hulu show with
Theranos,
whatever her name was. Yeah, she was the disgraced founder of Theranos. She turned herself in today.
I did.
To begin serving her 11-month, 3-year prison sentence. So she's from Houston. She is now once again a Texas resident, and she has reported to federal prison camp Bryan.
Oh. There's a prison down there in Aggie Land?
Yeah, it's a minimum security prison that houses 655 female offenders.
Maybe they'll give us season tickets.
They have a special box for prisoners at Kyle Field.
Yeah.
So she requested to stay out of prison while her appeals are being heard. Because she had just given birth to her second child in April, but they said, nope, you have to report today. So she did report on time.
So how long will she have to serve?
11 years, 3 months.
Dang.
For creating the fake magic blood box.
Her baby will be almost a teenager by the time she gets out.
Very weird. So was this all done purposefully, having these children, like knowing that she wasn't going to be able to have any kids while she was in the
I don't
clink?
know. I don't know if that was the game plan.
And did she...
Or to just try and have props to say, don't send me to prison, look at my babies.
My babies.
That seems like a great strategy, though. It's worth trying, right?
Yeah. I need to be a mother to those children. Now, that's the weird part, is she talked with a very deep voice because she said that men paid attention to women with deep voices.
She's morphing into Dr. Phil.
She's not far away, dude. But I've heard that now her voice sounds very normal, but I've not heard her speak.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
either.
dying to hear her speak because, dude, that documentary made me insane every time she opened her gullet.
Yeah. She was doing a sell job, trying to be taken seriously because she was swindling investors.
Right.
If you don't know the Theranos story, it's been a million documentaries, and then there was the Amanda Seyfried series on Hulu. But she claimed she dropped out of Stanford, and she claimed she had a box that could test blood for 1 million different things with one drop of blood.
Right. And it was about the size of a
like
printer.
a microwave.
Yeah. Walgreens bought in on it. They're like, we want it. It's going to be in every Walgreens.
But it never worked, and
No.
so they would send it off. You would bring your sample to Walgreens, and then they would take it, but instead of putting it in this box that didn't work, they would ship it off to an external blood lab.
Yeah.
So there was nothing revolutionary about it, but she kept on saying, well, we were so close.
Right.
We were just, she was trying to a few more months. She was trying to fake it until she made it, and she never was able to actually do it.
And she was boinking one of the dudes that...
it was her CFO, I believe.
Yeah. I was going to say a major investor, but yeah, something like that. Is that the father of the children?
I believe so, yeah.
So they're still together.
I think. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know who the daddy is.
We'll find out who I'm having sex with.
She was just one Infinity Stone short, right?
Right?
She would have just
Theranos,
the
not
Mind Stone.
Thanos.
Oh.
So she will have a job assignment. Inmates have job assignments,
Don't shake your
as
head,
well
man.
as opportunities
I like it.
to participate in wellness programs, religious services, and recreational activities. So it's very white collar. And she will get at least 4 hours of visitation with her family a month, but usually they will grant more.
All right, some guy named Billy Evans. It looks like is now.
Okay, so
and
that's
not the guy,
dude.
because the other guy was Indian, right?
Yeah.
Indian guy.
Yeah. And then the other Community
Real
Quick
bad.
Hits E-News crossover, Jamie Foxx, to prove that he is still alive, has donated a basketball court to his hometown of Terrell, Texas.
How do you donate a basketball court?
Is it the Jamie Foxx Memorial Basketball
How does that?
Court?
Yeah, how does that prove he's alive?
It's the DeMar Hamlin Memorial Basketball
Right.
Court.
Well, I mean,
starring
if he
Jamie
was
Foxx.
dead, then he couldn't have written a check for them to install a
You
basketball
could have rubber
court.
stamped it.
We haven't seen him. He could be a DeMar Hamlin body double.
Yeah.
At this point, we don't know. But
Oh my God, this Billy Evans guy, I'm sorry. He's like a hotel heir. He's like a billionaire.
Okay, so
So
they're
she's
fine.
married
Hamlin's
into-
dead. You fools.
Unbelievable. How did she get a freaking heir after all that lying?
He thought her voice was sexy.
Yeah.
So he has had a basketball court installed at Breezy Hill Park in Terrell. It is a red and black colored court, has Jamie Foxx at the center of it, and
Okay.
Foxhole Believe and Achieve written above that.
Do you really need, if you donate the thing, do you really need to put your name on it like that at center court?
I mean,
just let everybody know. I mean, can't you just donate the money for a basketball court?
But maybe
Here.
that makes it cooler, and people want to like Instagram photos of them playing on Jamie Foxx's
But
court.
it's not an arena. It's a court. He
Yeah.
bought concrete and a hoop.
In a park. So on one end it
You
has...
wouldn't want a caricature of yourself dunking?
Yeah, Corby
on
has
your
his own
court?
tennis courts around DFW.
Leave me alone.
You just
had a rough night.
Throwing down the most awesome dunk
Right.
on your court.
Boy, Corby can still
You're
dunk.
like Shaq.
So it has Terrell Fighting Tigers on one side and Gilbert Willie Charities on the other. Gilbert Willie Sr. was a coach, teacher, principal, and assistant superintendent in Terrell for more than 30 years and was kind of a family friend and hero of Jamie Foxx. He passed away in 2013. So
R.I.P.
It was done in concert with Gilbert Willie Charities.
Well, that's very nice. Very, very cool of him. And you know what? I saw the
If
photos.
he's still alive.
If
Yeah.
he's still alive. I saw the photos. It looks badass. Like,
It
it
is a
looks
cool
really
court.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to take massive upkeep to keep it looking all shiny like that, but good on him. I love people that give back. I'm going to do that in Arlington someday.
Someday.
That seems vague.
Someday. No one can hold you to that. Martin Scorsese has
And you
not
just said-
come home.
You didn't say you're building anything. You just said, I want to give back someday.
See, and now my Arlington
Yeah,
people
it's
can
the
run with
vaguest
that. Yeah, got it, Corby.
promise.
Just so much charity that he does.
The Corby helipad for your helicopters.
Yeah, for everyone who wants to land their aircraft
Sweet, hell
in Arlington.
Go on, Dave.
Martin Scorsese has not come home after the Cannes Film Festival, or Cannes.
Why don't you just stay over there then?
So he
Says
has
Elizabeth
been doing
Holmes.
a tour of Italy, and On this past Saturday, he had an audience with the Pope. Scorsese sat down with Pope Francis.
He's very Catholic.
Yes, and so he was there for a conference at the Vatican called The Global Aesthetics of the Catholic Imagination. Sounds boring as hell.
Yeah.
But during this conference, he talked about his movies, Last Temptation of Christ. He also did a movie in 2016 called Silence about Jesuit Christians in 17th century Japan. And he also talked about the challenge that was given to him by Pope Francis. He said, I have responded to the Pope's appeal for artists in the only way I know how, by imagining and writing a screenplay for a film about Jesus, and I'm about to start making it. So he's going to make another Jesus movie.
What did you just say? So, I don't want to say the story's been told, but how is it going to be different?
The next Temptation of Christ.
Yeah, like what?
This time it's serious.
Right, is he drinking a Mountain Dew?
I need to do one more miracle.
What year was that?
They keep pulling me back in.
I said I was retired. There's one more wedding that needs wine.
88.
88.
I don't think I saw that.
No, but I certainly...
Was that banned?
Oh, yeah, but it's one of those deals, like if somebody makes a movie about Jesus... either you do it in a way that is fully approved by the church, or you do it in a way that's clearly not, which I believe that was the latter. I don't remember what was so controversial, but it certainly was there. And that sort of movie gets promoted by the church in an effort to stop the movie. You know what I'm saying? So by mentioning it so many times and saying this is bad, all you do is you raise the general profile of said movie.
I am Jesus Christ.
Whoa. I think one of the things that got people worked up was there's a scene where Jesus and Mary Magdalene consummate their marriage.
Oh, my.
But I thought it was a fantasy. Like Jesus, that was part of his temptation, was thinking about living a mortal life and banging Mary Magdalene.
I don't think that's how it's written in the summary.
I don't either, Dave.
But thanks for using 2023 terms so we can understand it.
Yeah, I didn't get it until you said banging. Now I get it.
What if Jesus was like us and he just banged chicks?
Boffo.
That's the pitch that Scorsese has given to the
like,
Pope.
oh, look, Martin, you've kind of lost it here a little bit. But he is.
If anyone wasn't sure, I'll distance there.
Yeah.
That's the place in the script. I'm going to
That's
distance.
the off-ramp for Bob.
Yes.
I want Adam Driver to play Jesus.
Oh, stop it.
What?
We're not. No, he's off the list.
Why?
We'll approve some.
I'll bet you money right now that Adam Driver
He
is
can't be
Jesus.
Kylo Ren and Jesus.
Yeah.
He chose his
He
path.
can't be Sith Jesus and human Jesus.
God, it would be so cool if he's in the robe, and like.
What other stories do we have, Dave?
Okay,
but somebody's like, I want to fight Jesus, and all of a sudden you pan to old long-haired Adam who just
lightsaber.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, get him, Jesus.
Wow.
No one's yelling that at the screen.
Cuts the cross in half with his lightsaber. Not today.
Not in my house.
Aw. All right. Sarah Snook.
He crushes a Vegas bomb shot.
Shiv on Succession. She has revealed that she and her husband, Dave Lawson, have welcomed their first child.
Dave?
She wasn't just acting.
She said, I just watched the final episode of the final season of something that has changed my life, and now my life has changed again. Thank you for all the love and support. So, yeah, they had to write her pregnancy into the fourth and final season of Succession.
But did they?
I mean, they did.
I know. No, they definitely did, but did they have to?
Well, I guess they could just pretend that she was getting fat.
Yeah, you had to.
Hey, are you pregnant or just fat?
I will just say that Shiv has had various morphines as we've gone along, and I don't know that she crossed the line into she's clearly pregnant.
Yeah, she was just in the baby bump phase during the show. So, and as far as ratings go, 2.9 million people tuned in on Sunday night, the largest real-time audience ever for Succession.
You robbed the P1s by not being up to speed, Corby.
I just don't get it.
And this season of Succession has averaged 8.7 million viewers per episode when they count
when
they count all of the
2.9
delayed viewing.
Yeah, it just seems like that's a really small number for a show that gets that type of buzz. So 9 million or so. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Are you caught up, Bob? You saw the finale?
I watched
Thoughts?
it night of. Oh, I got
thumbs up.
Yeah.
Did they stick the landing in the parlance of the term?
Yeah, I think so. Man, we should talk about this more. We should maybe. You want to do a segment here in a couple days?
Isn't it impossible to make everybody happy though in all those shows?
Yeah, we can burn Grape Fest on Succession if you want.
If you'd like to, that'd be fun.
Sure. Without spoilers, or with as few spoilers as possible.
So, Corby, you have 2 days to watch 35 more episodes.
All right.
So get to work.
I can do that. This going to be on TV? Yeah. I can do that.
And that's your news.
All right, good stuff, Dave.
Here's Dave.
So, down in Austin, the regular session of the Texas legislature ended.
Okay, I'm falling asleep.
It ended. However, Governor Greg Abbott has announced an immediate special session.
Good.
To focus on property taxes and border security. So only the governor can call for a special session.
Whoa.
Special session. And only the items outlined by the governor can be legislated in that session. And he can call as many special sessions as he likes. So they're saying that this probably isn't the only one. But this is just the first one trying to cut property taxes and bolster border security. So the property tax thing, there's a hang up because Dan Patrick only wants to discount homeowners' property taxes, but there are other legislators that want to discount commercial property taxes as well.
Yeah.
And so that's the hang up there. But in Texas, that's, our property taxes at this point are outrageous because of the home values. And that's kind of our substitute income tax. We don't have income tax, but we have outrageous property tax.
Yeah.
So the only things, or the things that were the priority during the regular session, they passed a few more than a dozen pieces of legislation that Governor Abbott is going to be signing into law. There was a $5.1 billion proposal to fund border protection, so I guess they want to go above and beyond that. They did pass a law requiring an armed security guard at every public school building. They also banned care for transgender children in Texas. They also added restrictions for transgender athletes. They also banned drag shows in front of children. And they also
drag shows.
Restricted.
I can't believe that became a thing.
They also restricted DEI at state colleges.
Oh,
we talked about that. So,
I read an article like a larger. I don't think it's going to matter, but like talking about banning the DEI training and all that at these big at Texas and Texas A&M and how that could affect recruiting, like
scholarships,
it's
admissions,
right? It's bigger than just eliminating DEI.
Also in Austin, yesterday, the Texas House delivered articles of impeachment against Attorney General Ken Paxton to the Senate, and then on Monday evening, the Senate announced that the trial would begin no later than August 28th. And so the House Speaker, Dade Phelan, selected a dozen representatives, 7 Republicans and 5 Democrats, who will make the case that Ken Paxton abused his power and is unfit to serve as Attorney General.
Yeah. I don't even know what he did wrong.
Well, there are 20 articles of impeachment, and among the things that he's accused of, accepting bribes, including a kitchen remodel at his house.
That's kind of a badass bribe.
In exchange for helping a campaign donor get out of an FBI investigation. They also say that Paxton obstructed justice by delaying a trial on securities fraud charges that he's faced for nearly 8 years. Remember, we had the story where he was ducking the guy trying to serve him?
Oh, yeah, like running away.
Yeah.
Can't catch me.
So he denies any wrongdoing, but
No way.
odds are he's going down. Odds are. Because it's bipartisan. Everybody's like,
Right.
okay,
Yeah,
enough
you
of
need-
you.
yeah, you need to go away.
Enough of you. In city politics, this is kind of exciting.
Okay.
This is the long game. But for the longest time, there's been the debate, what do we do with I-345? The elevated highway that connects 75 and 45 that separates downtown from Deep Ellum.
Yeah.
And so finally, last week, the Dallas City Council voted unanimously 14-0 to go forward with a project to take it down and sink it below street level.
What? Like a tunnel?
Like a tunnel. And then have connecting streets above
God.
it.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. So the next step is the Dallas City manager has to come up with $2 million to fund an independent study to make sure that this is the best option. So they've made the decision, but then they need to double check and make sure that it's the right decision.
For $2 million.
And yeah.
We need catering to decide this.
Meanwhile, TxDOT is going to be doing the engineering reports and the studies to figure out how to do it. And so if Dallas changes their mind, then they're going to owe TxDOT money for the investment they made into researching how to do this.
Now, how big of a stretch is this? Because I didn't even realize it was called I-345. And it's not a very big road.
It's 1.4 miles.
Okay.
And according to TxDOT, it carries about a little under 200,000 cars a day.
A day?
A day. And so one of the proposals was to turn it into a street-level boulevard and have the speed limit be like 45 or something. And they were like, no, there's too many cars, can't do that. And so the kind of compromise solution was, well, let's sink it down. And then they're also going to look into the feasibility of decking it similar to Clyde Warren Park.
Okay.
So have some kind of green space that connects Deep Ellum and downtown. But it's going to take a while. They say if everything stays on track, which we've seen.
Let me guess.
We've seen with the Trinity River project how long crap takes around here.
I want to guess.
2038.
Okay, that's ridiculous. I'll say 2029.
You're ridiculous.
If it stays on track, construction could start in 2028. No telling how long it would take, probably multiple years.
Couple
So
weeks.
maybe 2030 it will be done. It'll cost more than $1 billion.
And by then we'll have hosted a World Cup final in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to sports.
And maybe an NFC
And don't we have like
championship.
the 2031 Ryder Cup or something?
The Olympics?
I might have made that up.
I think you
The
did.
2031 Ryder Cup, right?
Up there in Frisco?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that... That's so weird a Ryder Cup is going to be here.
They're not going to do it over 345?
And
Have the Ryder Cup?
you understand, because the Ryder Cup is like mid-September. It could be one of those like 120 degrees. It will be.
Yeah, because global warming.
Well, just September sucks.
Are you for America or aren't you?
No, I'm rooting for Europe that year.
Yeah.
Libs.
Well,
Yeah, you
if it's
lib.
120, then that is
Oh,
home
yeah.
field advantage
Yeah.
for us.
John Rahm will melt.
His fat will liquefy,
Yeah.
run out his pant leg.
How's Michael Block going to do, I wonder?
All right, just let him be.
He'll be dead.
Let him be.
He's selling corn dogs.
We're the official show of Michael Block.
He was
He's
our
our-
guest.
he's our friend.
He was
We're
our
in a
friend.
block-free zone.
We were so happy when we had him on, and he was so great. And then
One
just
week ago tonight, right?
the world turned on him.
He's going to be Ryder Cup champion.
He's not ever
here
going
in
to play
Frisco.
on a Ryder Cup team. He'll be 58 whenever that happens.
What if everybody else goes to Live? Will he have a Ryder Cup spot?
Yeah, do you think that Liv was kind of thinking about maybe making that phone call, and then he shot an 87 at Colonial, and they were like,
the Sheik hangs up the phone.
Yeah.
Little Sheik phone.
Did you see that Mark Cuban was trending last night on Twitter.
And he joins us now.
Doesn't surprise me.
So it was in the middle of the Eastern Conference Finals Game 7, which obviously he was watching with great interest as he's a
federal interest
fan of the league, not just an owner.
He is.
And so he was watching Heat and Celtics, and he tweeted a question. He said, "Got a personal question for everyone watching Heat versus Celts right now. Who is watching on a pirated stream? I'm curious how prevalent it is." And
a pirated stream of ABC?
Yeah. I mean, this is not a game that you need to somehow find a way to watch.
Right. Or ESPN. I don't even know what it was on.
It must have been a TNT game.
Unless they just don't have any type of cable or YouTube TV.
Yeah, it was
or anything.
Or helipads.
TV. What was this on? So immediately after, everyone is replying to his tweet and like, "Not gonna get me," and they start calling him Narc Cuban. And Narc Cuban was trending.
So they thought that if they responded, "Yes, I'm watching it," that they were going to get prosecuted.
That the FBI was
going to
knock
on their door.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Triangulate exactly where they're at.
Yes, this is a Cubes special operation with the feds.
Yeah, it was a sting from Cubes.
Like, how many people for real are in the business of pirating TNT and ESPN? Like, would we be shocked if we knew the numbers?
I don't know.
Is it millions of people every day that are getting away with free TV?
I guess a lot of Gen Zers are total cord cutters. They don't have anything.
Yeah.
And so maybe majority of them, or at least a significant number of that generation, are picking it up on a stream
You're saying
somewhere.
they don't have, like, YouTube TV or anything.
They don't have anything.
They just have apps on their TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they
That's
just watch
kind
it on
of-
a device. They're not even watching it on TV.
Or on a sweater.
Yeah, on a sweater even.
Dude, I wonder, like, what the percentages of people that are 22 that live in an apartment or whatever, their first place right out of college or high school or whatever, how many of them adapt that lifestyle of they have nothing. They just have apps.
They live the life of pirates.
I bet that's
like
very
cheese
common.
sticks and queso.
Like 22 to 30-year-old dudes.
They have a parrot on their shoulder.
I'm glad somebody caught
Not
that.
appetizers.
Said apps.
Speaking of
Some
delicious
jalapeno
food.
poppers.
Speaking of delicious food, Whataburger, Texas institution Whataburger is in trouble with the Department of Labor.
Uh-oh.
They owe a former employee $1,800 because they did not allow her to pump her breast milk, and then they fired her when she did.
So breast milk pumping on the clock is illegal?
So it was a corporate-owned location in Lubbock, and they refused to give the woman who was, a breastfeeding mother, they refused to give her time to pump her milk, and then when she left the premises to pump, they fired her. So the Department of Labor, end of last week, they said that Whataburger owes her $900 in back wages and $900 in liquidated damages, which I guess is like the spoiled milk.
Yeah.
She lost
liquid damages.
She lost $900 worth of breast milk.
Yeah.
We should get George on to get his thoughts on this matter. His reaction to this story.
So,
but under federal law, to answer your question, Corby, employees who are nursing have the right to reasonable break time and a place other than the bathroom to pump breast milk for up to 1 year after the child's birth. And that place must be shielded from view. It can't be like the first booth.
Can't be
right,
public
right by
display.
The bathrooms.
Yeah.
Can't be like in a window front.
Okay, so do you have a special breast pump spot in restaurants like that? I mean,
They all do.
They do?
They just don't tell you about it.
Why don't they just pay? I mean, this $1,800 for Whataburger, that ain't much.
Yeah, it's just the bad press because this is a Department of Labor ruling, and this is nationwide news. So it's not a good look for them.
Do you guys ever
if your
think...
sack were bursting with milk, wouldn't you want to be milked in the morning?
Isn't it amazing, though, that animals and humans
have udders.
We all can produce milk.
Yeah.
Wow. Anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Do you think you can milk me?
Unmilk.
And why do we have superfluous nipples? Just to match up with our female counterparts? Like, what's the point of our nipples?
To throw the enemy off the scent on which one
Who's
is
the
which.
enemy?
It's just to make it easier when you
Martians.
transition, that you already have nipples there.
Yeah. Yes.
Saves money.
Stop it with the libs.
You libs.
All right, Dave, good stuff.